Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on.
There's always just that active when that defenders have been given, like.
And again, people. Hope everyone's doing well and safe. Get your opinions on whatnot in. Smash the like button. One love to the Twitch ones. Let's go.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on.
I'm muted. Probably I would have known that if I didn't have my headphones in, people. Cut for a sec. Cut. Raw footage, behind the scenes settings. I hope everyone's doing well and safe on a serious note. Apologies for any technical difficulties you may be facing. But yeah, let's do that again. People deluded, I'm back again. First things first, I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. I hope everyone and their loved ones have good health. Please make sure you're smashing the like button. Twitch gang, make sure you're subscribing via Amazon Prime and just supporting the thing. We're almost at 50,000 on YouTube, and we've crossed over to the 6K route on Twitch. So yeah, we're 4,000 more and we've got there, in it. So yeah, I hope everyone's blessed as usual. Appreciative of you lot supporting my content and making it worth being here day in, day out. Now obviously Zaha, Pedro Neto, Tielemans, and anyone else for that matter that we discuss once we get to 200 likes on YouTube is neither here nor there, really. I keep saying it, and it's not just lip service. Very appreciative of the support you lot give me. Really appreciative of you lot every day. You know, while the stream's going on, if there's emerging news, you lot are on the ball with that. Obviously, your talking points, get your talking points, questions, etc. in, because that's what makes the stream. I'm not gonna lie. Of course, I would like to see Arsenal get the Zahas, the Pedro Netos, the many players, Tonali a few weeks ago, Paqueta this, Rafinha that. It's either here nor there. It's really just appreciative to be here with you lot, man. So yeah, I hope you lot are all well and safe. Big up the Irish, of course. Bro, we've been here in Tielemans' personal terms, bro. Been hearing it. Zaha for the culture. He is, man. Obviously, for my opinion, where Zaha is, I'm taking it. It's not my first choice. If it happens, I'm not against it. I wouldn't move the boat out. Obviously, he's 29. I know a lot of people see them ages there and start getting giggity and like, oh my days, he's finished, he's past it, he's this, he's that, he's the third. Obviously, those are legitimate concerns. Obviously, if I'm Zaha, I'm trying to get. Obviously, I'm trying. How much? What did Willian get in terms of length of a contract? If I'm Zaha, I'm probably trying to get minimum 3-year deal. If Arsenal's stupid enough at 29 to give me a 5-year, so be it. Obviously, the financial package, he's 29 years of age. Obviously, he's probably on good money at Crystal Palace. He'd be on good money if they gave him a new deal. But yeah, obviously, he's an Arsenal fan. I like his attitude. You know, I like the swagger that he plays with. Like Partey, El Nene, Xhaka. I'm gassing it, but Cedric, these are exceptions to the project rule. We're doing the experienced players, and Zaha could be that. He can play up front, can play in behind the striker, left to right. You know, obviously, he's a skillful player, excites people, Premier League proven, London aspect. I'm all for it. I think it's a bit late in the day, but, you know, definitely the last time we was really aggressively linked with Zaha, what would you lot say? The Pepe sort of time, and Pepe's time looks done, but where one Ivorian failed, another one could do this thing really and truly. If I'm honest with you, I think he's in good stead, really. There's never been a better time to get him. He's contracted until 2023. Again, it's almost the last big move. Now, obviously, he could run down his deal. He'd be 30 by the time, you know, his contract ends. You could still get a deal. Obviously, he's been linked with Roma but previously and things of that nature. But, you know, I think this is our only chance to get him, our best chance to get him really for a decent sort of fee. If you could get him for a decent 3 on a 3-year deal or something like that, or 2 years with an option of another one, I wouldn't complain. But if I'm Zaha and his advisors, I'm trying to get a 3-year minimum plus a fourth, because again, you got to remember, this is someone's job. He's 29, his career's still got a number of years, but you know, he's not going to be here forever. So you need to get finances, you need to look after your contract, you need to do what you can to secure even more financial security. He's got bills to pay, he's got a family, he's got kids, and he's probably got generational wealth, but it's about getting more of them. Obviously, I'm having it really. You know, he present problems. You could see him starting instead of Saka. I don't quite believe that, but he could give Saka a run for his money. He could give whoever's on the left-hand side his run for his money. And that could be, you know, where Rafinha failed, Pedro Neto failed, the development sort of targets we looked at on the right wing. I'd rather Pedro Neto because of longevity and resale value, but I'm not going to turn down Zaha really and truly, people, because again, he comes with numbers and, you know, he can take a pen. He started off this season in great form, you know, 3 out of 3. Really, you know, again, it's not the best of records, but he could present us with goals. I'm looking at his statistics. In 281 games in the Premier League, he's got 64 goals and 41 assists. He's got 86 goals and 73 assists in 433 games for Crystal Palace. So I'm not sure, but he would come with a sense of urgency because he's not really got time to waste. But yeah, his goal scoring record isn't the best. Let's see what he did last season. I'm sure he got at least 10 in the league, 11, maybe even 14. I'm stand corrected. He got 14 in the league last year in 33. Yeah, I know people say, oh, how many of them were penalties? That's a legitimate concern, but you still need to step up and take the penalty, really and truly. And for me, it's the main thing. The main thing that attracts me to Zaha is the mentality, really. I think this has frozen, which is an L. But yeah, he got 14 last season. He got the season before that, 2020-21, he got 11 and 2 assists. You want to see the assists get better. 19-20, he got 4 goals in 38. Don't know why that season was a blur for him. 18-19, what did you get? 10 goals, 10 assists. You know, that can supplement things that are going on. And obviously, he can play up front if something happens to Jesus and things like that. Like, I would love Eddie to get chances. He's obviously going to get them, but who's probably going to score more goals if you gave them 10 games? Is it going to be Eddie and Nketiah up front, or is it going to be Zaha? It could be Eddie. It might be Zaha. I'm just getting the creative juices flowing. So I'm taking Zaha, but it's not the first choice target. And I am very pessimistic, really and truly, in that regards in relation to Zaha, purely because it's one that always gets thrown in. It's not an Arsenal transfer window if he's not linked with us, but he has to have been on the list, logically speaking. Last night, I tried to humour myself, and I didn't quite put them into tears, but I tried to think of everybody that's been linked with this club in the wide positions. You know, a slight bracket, but the top bracket, I would say, in terms of players, I put asterisk next to Yeremy, Pino, and Neto because they're not probably category A players at this moment in time, but they got the potential to be. But we was linked with Sane, Gnabry, Rafinha, Neto, faint rumours, but also Moussa Diaby. Then you look a step below that, I put an asterisk next to the name of Bowen. We were linked with Noah Lang. We were linked with Pepe of Porto. We were linked with Gakpo. We were linked with Asensio, who can also play out wide. I can't say his name, but the Ukrainian Yad Mudruk. And there's probably a couple of other early stage wingers. So wingers have to be identified. So someone like Zaha, in my opinion, has to have been on that list to some degree because of his contract, because of his age, because of his profile, because we looked at him before, and because we need players, really. Like, absolute doomsday targets. You probably have to imagine, if nothing happens with centre mid, with Tielemans or any mystery midfielder, we might revisit Arthur Melo, who at this moment in time hasn't gone anywhere. And Zaha seems doable, really and truly. I don't know what Palace would want. And then you could also argue Palace have never been in a better position to sell Zaha. I think they need him. I think they need to keep him. But, you know, they've got Elise, they've got Eze, they've got Malcolm Aboe, did quite well in the cup. They've got a couple of other players, really and truly. If I was Zaha, I'd probably just stay at Palace, you know, but I wouldn't begrudge him if he wants to go to Rome and play under Jose Mourinho or sign for Arsenal. He's been linked with Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs on that matter as well. So maybe it's just agent-led, but yeah, man, let me know, or paper-led better yet, but let me know what you guys think of that, people. Zaha to Arsenal thoughts. We get to 200 likes. We start looking at the transfer news, people. Pedro Neto has spoken. His gaffer has spoken. Tielemans this, Reece Nelson that, and the third, people. So yeah, it is what it is. DJ, I wasn't really that keen on Zaha, but can actually see this making more sense at the moment. He's 29. We can get a few years out of him. 25 million is a reasonable fee in this market. I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking more 20, a little 15 with an option, maybe throw in an Ainsley or something. I ain't really trying. I'm being a bit of a stingy one, and listen, I'm not the transfer man in that, but 25 mil. I'm trying to save a few bob if I'm real with you, man. Zaha would be a dream signing. I just love to watch the guy play. He is someone that would obviously excite fans. Big up you lot tuned in, man. You lot make the channel. Shout out the Twitch gang. Come on, bro. Yes, DG. What's going on, bro? Yo, blessed. Come on, man. I appreciate that, man. Shout the members as well. Personal terms every time again. Why not confirmed? Because again, we haven't agreed a fee with Leicester. Whatever games we're playing, you know, a game of chicken. Maybe as you can see, we're trying to get them to drive the price down. It seems like they're accepting it. That, you know, there's pressure in, bro. Brendan Rodgers, even in his sleep, he's got nightmares. Obviously, Fofana's been made to train with the 23s. They lost yesterday. They've had a disastrous season so far. They've had a disastrous start to the during the preseason, not been able to recruit. Maddison, I don't know if he'll sign a new deal. Clearly, Tielemans and Fofana, whether they end up at Chelsea or Arsenal, etc., their time's kind of done, really. So there's probably never been a better time to kind of sign Tielemans, but we already know, we've been talking to him from last summer. You know, it might even go into January next year on a free transfer. Personal terms for Arsenal to show this level of intent and maybe calmness to play the waiting game and then move. Obviously, it's the 24th of August. We need to get a move on. Personal terms, how he would tie into the team, the length of contract, wages, bonuses, all that jazz. It's there in it, really. You are seeing the Liverpool rumours and United rumours start to flock, obviously with their question marks in midfield. Where's Tom Canton? He was meant to be on the show with you, no? I mean, I think you got your timings wrong. Big up Tom, big up the Twitch gang. We already had that show. You just stuck with my beautiful face. Tom's my guy, but come on, what's going on there? You can watch the replay on Twitch. It will be on YouTube at some point, man. I'll tell you, look, follow on Twitch. Link is pinned to the pin message on YouTube. And I'm sure the Nightbot is doing his shift. So, boy, you don't do that. I actually can't help you, look. Speak. So, yeah, man, reading is free still. 68 likes. We're moving mad. People keep it up. Big up DG. With my Arsenal hat on, bring Zaha. But with my Palace hat on, he's just too good for you. Zaha about to cost a bag. I need Lokonga to step up if we don't get a centre mid. But next season, we need a top-class centre mid. Zaha's got that athletic build. He's got another 5 years in him. I hear that. I don't know for whatever, but even if he could give us 2-3 years and we get back to where we need to, that's money well spent. Look at Van Persie for United, completely different. He didn't have had him much years, but he won them the Prem, innit? Who gives a crap, really? Good morning, DG. I've been a fan of your show way back when you was broadcasting live from the battleground in Soho Square and keeping the pigeons at bay. Should we pay 50 million for Neto? Birdie, appreciate that support, man. Serious throwback, humble beginnings, man. It is nice to not have papers blowing everywhere, pigeons, there's tourists, and people just looking at me like I'm smoking crack because I got a camera in the middle of the place. But you got to do what you got to do. Appreciative of your support. You're an OG in this, and we could do a lot worse than 50 million for Neto, really, in my opinion. Zaha would be amazing. I can't lie, I'm getting tired of this Tielemans thing. Everyday personal terms agreed, but no bid. You're not alone. The amount of penalties we would win would be unreal. Is Van Dijk no longer elite? I mean, come on now. You guys been doing it for years. Had a tough couple games, and the Wolves are out. I mean, I'm here for it. You know, he ain't quite Saliba. Maybe Saliba can give him some lessons, and that's why he's following him on Instagram. But Van Dijk's a 30 defender. Do I feel don't shoot me? Do I think Van Dijk is overrated? Yeah, when you compare him to the legends. Do I think he's the best defender ever to play the Premier League at the aspect of defending? Hell no. But he's a quality player and is up there, you know. He clearly is elite. You know, this is a man that's come back from a massive injury. He's done well, bro. He's been getting ripped, and he needs to stop standing off people and needs to hold his L's. But Liverpool, are a joke at this moment in time across all aspects. The strikers aren't really doing it. Midfield options are dire at this moment, and when everyone's fit, they're probably missing. Defense is a shambles. Trent Alexander-Arnold going to sleep. Ain't got the seatbelt of Fabinho there. Playing with a different centre-back partner every week now. It's a mazzo. It's going to make everybody look rubbed. Van Dijk's still elite, man, but he plays for Liverpool, so I don't really care still. If I'm honest with you, big him up same way. Jesus, Zaha, Martinelli running that teams is long, bro. Don't forget you got Smith Rowe, you got Saka, you got all crazy demons in the cup, man. I'm here for it. Imagine losing 2-0 to Arsenal and seeing Zaha warming up for the second half. It's long. Always Zaha. Arsenal are fluffing it up again. We need Neves from Wolves or Savic from Lazio. Is the Arsenal hierarchy confused again? I think Zaha is better than Sterling. To get all your DG merch, go to the following link the Nightbot has said. And don't forget to stay up to date. Follow me on Twitter, which is DeludedGuna04. He just doesn't fit the plan. I don't believe they will charge the way we've been doing things. He doesn't, but there's exceptions to the rule because Bayat, you know, Partey doesn't fit it. Deonene doesn't fit it. Cedric doesn't fit it. Xhaka does not fit it. But you need experience around these players. And, you know, if Zaha can stay here for a couple of years while the other players are finding their feet and we get to a certain level with Martinelli, Saka, etc., I'm here for it. We could do a lot worse. I'm not saying move mountains and move heaven and earth to bring Will Zaha to the carpet. I'm definitely not saying that. But we have done a lot worse previously. We should go for Zaha if we can't get Neto. I'd entertain it, but if we don't get Neto, just focus all the plans on midfield for me. I can accept not having a winger. I can't accept not a midfielder, whether it's Tielemans or whatever. I think we're quite light in midfield. Zaha is 29 already. I don't see it happening. Well, go on, bro. Which saga will end first, DG, De Jong or Tielemans? I don't know, man. They're both taking long, innit? Forget Tielemans, forget Neto. We need 3 killer signings, 1 striker, 2 cover for Saka, 3 quality DCMs, prefer Savage. Zaha would probably work. We know what we're getting, but Neto the more exciting prospect, in my opinion. I hope you're all doing well and safe. All 3 are just mediocre players, only for the bench. Bit harsh. Consistently exceptional content. Appreciate that, man. Where's the pod with Tom Canton, bro? It's on Twitch. It will be re-uploaded onto YouTube. It's actually uploaded. I just need to dot I's and cross T's and release it. But yeah, man, you can rewatch it on Twitch. It's there. Shout out the Twitch ones. It's there for you. We did that at 9 a.m. Shout out to Tom for that one. And congratulations in advance. Once again, he's getting married on Friday. Hopefully that's a good luck job going into the Fulham game. Morning G, don't think they'll sign a mid. I think they think Zinchenko and Vieira is more than enough cover. And I'm here for that. That's why I think we wasn't going to get Paqueta, because his profile is quite similar to what we brought in the summer on top of what we've got. But I think we need a midfielder. If something happens to Xhaka, something happens to Partey, we're in trouble. And at best, if nothing happens to Xhaka, I think Xhaka, keep doing what you're doing, keep being used in the squad. But could you get someone that does what Xhaka does to a greater standard and a higher level, or what Arteta wants from Xhaka? Because he's played him in a bunch of roles. He's played him in midfield, but he's more of a left back. He's played him more advanced. He played him more deeper, receiving the ball off the centre halves. There's been a hybrid of the two. Current day, you're seeing him do the box-to-box thing, and he's doing it quite well. Keep that. You know, Xhaka could be used in the squad. But I just feel for us to go to that next level, for us to attack better, defend better, we need that midfielder that can do what Xhaka does, but can maybe, you know, the Kovacic's and these sort of things, you know. Again, that's the sort of skill set I want at the Emirates, if I'm honest with you. Maybe someone younger, because Xhaka is 29, turning 30. It's nothing to do with, oh, he's a pensioner, get him out. It's the fact of, that's a man that was born in Switzerland. Obviously, he likes what's going on. He's got a good relationship now with the fans, the club, the players, the manager. They've never turned their back on him, you know, and I think fans accept it. Obviously, if we get into the Champions League, he was part of it, you might want to stay, but he's born in Switzerland, of Albanian descent, I believe. He didn't grow up in Finsbury Park, you know. A footballer career is short. If certain proposals, which, you know, probably the first summer where there was no Italian interest, or to our knowledge, Italian interest for Xhaka, there's something there. For me, don't replace Xhaka when it's evident that we need to, because if we're real, Aubameyang, and those of you that have been following me, shout out Birdie, because he said he was watching me when I was doing it in Soho Square. So I know, you know, I've said this for time. The minute Aubameyang signed that 3-year deal, we should, obviously, we've got Jesus now, who cares? But we should have began the look for a new striker. I'm not saying necessarily buy one the same summer, but scouting, okay, this season he looks lit, but he's not ready. Next year he's looking better. The 3rd year we buy him. You know, it was only really because Aubameyang couldn't behave himself as to why we saw what happened. Lacazette as well, to a slight degree. It's only we only replace problems when they're at the foot of our door. And I just feel, whether you like Xhaka or not, he's vital to the team. If he ever wants to move or gets injured or whatever, we're in trouble again. And right now, if we don't get a centre mid, I wouldn't say we have to change the system completely, but we kind of do, really, because Xhaka and Partey, they're the only kind of physical centre mids. And then they can put himself around. I think Lokonga can as well. But, you know, if anything happens, you're probably looking at Zinchenko or Fabio Vieira, and to go with Odegaard, and that we're probably just going to have to commit to doing the Wenger ball, because we're not going to, we can be a pressing team, we can be like Piranhas and that, but we're probably not going to get too much presence in that midfield. So, yeah, man, we'll have to see what happens in that regards, folks. People will only notice what Xhaka does when he's gone. I hear that. Got a firm belief that Zaha would provide guarantees where it comes to Europe, elevating a big drop in the front forward line. You'd be paying for another leader, winning mentality, and a game changer. Granite, with 3 goals/assists in 3 games, already took him over 30 games in previous seasons to get that. He's balling. Bro, forget the goals and assists. Don't forget, obviously, but Xhaka's just playing well without that. You know, he's playing very well without that. He's doing his thing. The problem with Xhaka is, like a lot of stuff, we put players in boots they can't fill really. Like Xhaka is a rotation option, can play for us, but we need a bit better. You know, I do think if Xhaka doesn't play, we miss the presence, and that's testament to him. But that's also, I'm looking at it and saying, boy, you know, that's testament to where we are at this moment. And we've said that about Lacazette working hard and things like that as well. Don't get twisted. Xhaka is doing amazing, linking up with Zinchenko, scoring goals, assisting, mentality monster, you know, unofficial captain in my book, really. All that stuff is wavy, and it can't ask anything more, per se. Mikel is doing with Xhaka what Klopp done with Henderson. I hear that. And I also don't know where my mouth is. Spilt that all on my leg. Without Partey, that midfield's a joke. And you know, at some point, listen, big up Partey. I hope he stays fit. But you know, you know what's gonna happen. Like, you know, certain things are gonna happen. Zaha over Neto, however, I still rate Neto. 200 likes. We look at the transfer news. Morning, DG. Saliba is currently the best defender in the league. Putting my neck on the block this early. I'm here for it. I like my G's to just develop with no hype and no silence. You know, let's let the people them talk. You know, let's just let the people them talk, man. Morning, DG. Do you think that if we sign Tielemans, we should look for a loan for Lokonga for his development? If someone in the Premier or top division could say, yo, you know what, give us a Lokonga, he'll play 20, 30 games, I would deeply consider it, because I'd say, you know what, Xhaka, touch wood, pause, bad man, don't do that. Xhaka plays all the time and he's quite durable. You've got Partey, you've got El Nene, you know, Vieira, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, probably long-term, Smith Rowe, Zinchenko, they can all offer us something in midfield. And obviously, if you brought someone in, I could say, you know what, go and get some minutes. But at the same time, I want to keep Lokonga. I don't quite buy him being a long-term number 8, but go do your thing and show versatility. For me, you could be the number 6. I feel right now, mentally, he looks a bit like a child that hasn't got a jacket and left in the freezing rain, feeling a bit sorry for himself. But I'm expecting Lokonga to get his opportunity and take them. I like what I see. He is very raw. I'd say for me, it's more mental with Lokonga. Plays like a deer in headlights. Looked a bit sorry for himself at large points last season, like nothing was going right. And I understand that. But at some point, like in life, if everything is going wrong in your life, whether you've been thrown curveballs, whether you've created things, you know, at some point you have to stop feeling sorry for yourself and go again. And I did like that little bit from All or Nothing where Lokonga was kind of sulking at breakfast and Eddie's like, listen, you think you're the only brother that's not playing? Pattern up sort of thing. But we haven't got really 6s. If something happens with Partey, it's El Nene. And obviously El Nene once in a blue moon has that really great game. And I like El Nene because you know what you're getting, but his squad player settings at best. Yeah, I don't know where the DM shout for Milinkovic Savic came. I didn't say that. Zaha is right-footed, so man said Partey's got legs of Weetabix. Lokonga will find himself in Europa, hopefully. Even with Tielemans coming in potentially still light in midfield. Listen, I don't know for off the field with what's going on with Thomas Partey. I'm going to wait till things come out. What I would say is, you know, the evidence does look quite compelling. If it does come out that you did it, then I think the club and Thomas Partey have to look at themselves as well. But I can't deal with speculation really and truly. So I don't know. You're going to have to go with someone else with that. And let's keep it football. Shout out South London. Big up DG and the nation. Zaha needs this move. He's a 30 Palace legend. Time to move on. But then again, last time he left Palace, you know, the grass wasn't necessarily greener. So that might be something he's considering. Obviously, he's a much better player in hindsight. Probably moved to United far too early. A bit like Depay as well. Moved a bit too early. He's gone back to Palace. Things are happening. It's gone on again, really. So maybe, you know, he's ready to make that move, or maybe that's something that when he thinks of the past, that it stings him. Because let's be honest, obviously, a player like Zaha should be playing in Europe, should be playing for a top 6 side or doing things respectfully to Palace. But you got a good thing going for you. The Palace fans adore you. You are a legend. I can't speak for Palace if they define him as a legend, not a Palace fan, but he's a legend. You're a South London boy. The family aspect into that, you know, they'll probably give you whatever contract you want, really and truly. You know, if you was an Arsenal fan growing up, you know, what's the next best thing if you're not playing for Arsenal? Obviously winning trophies, but you're playing under a legend in Patrick Vieira. It could be a lot worse. You're the big homie as well. You know, you're passing down the torch to the Elises, to the Ezes, and Malcolm Ebowe and all of these things. There's a lot to consider for Zaha. Zaha would offer flair, ability, and a physical presence, which our attack lacks. Neto is for sure a longer-term prospect with a very high ceiling. Big up Xhaka in that left 8 role, but I would love a specialist. Amen. What's good, DG? Watching Tielemans, don't you think he looks more like cover for Partey? No. But if anything happens to Partey or Xhaka, we just have to change up how we play slightly, because I don't think it'll be sustainable to keep running what we're running. 123 likes. Keep going, people. Almost at 200. Zaha should be preferred over Neto. He keeps defense honest. Xhaka is a ticking time bomb. Partey makes him look good. Bit harsh. There's times where Xhaka holds Partey's hands. Partey's been look like the big bad bully in midfield, and there's times where Xhaka's look good. I think that's the best pivot we can put, but it's inconsistent. You know, some days are going to be better than others, so let's revamp the thing. Even Thomas Partey, I'll be real, I'm a fan of Partey. You know, away from what's going on off the field, obviously, but let's be real. Like, let's be real. The man's ability is never in question. What's he done for Arsenal? He should be the most important player in the pitch. And obviously, if Partey isn't there, it's down the shit. Partey brings a lot. There's times where he's a bully in that lone 6 or that box-to-box role. Quality player. But for the money we spent, for the ability he has, I haven't seen the consistency, the match. When I say match winning, I'm not saying scoring goals, but dominating, you know. Again, you look at United away a couple of years ago. You look at Spurs last season at home. You know, you look at that period he's playing the lone 6. I need to see that more often, you know, because I want to be here and say, yo, you're better than Fabinho and them man there, but it's not that. The ability is there. I don't think I've seen much, and it kills me to say that, but it's time to have an honest conversation sort of thing. I'm not going to lie. There's many times where Partey is the big bad wolf, but there's many times Xhaka outshines you. Xhaka should never outshine you. But yeah, man, it is what it is in that regards, man. Tonali, Tielemans, yeah, but that's dream chasing, brother. Dream chasing. Which position is the most important to buy? A wide forward, a 6, or 8? I think all of it. If everybody's struggling to score goals, then we're in problems. If something happens to Thomas Partey, you have got Lokonga and El Nene, but you're in problems. If something happens to Xhaka at this moment in time, you're in problems because you probably have to play slightly different. You know, I'm not saying we can't mitigate against it. I'm not saying there's not other options. For me personally, I think midfield. I think both, because we need goals and we need options and stuff. But I think midfield. I think I don't know if you could, but if you could sign a proper number 8 to go with having Xhaka in the squad, I'd feel a lot better. And if you could sign a 6 that could take, even when Partey's fit, like take Partey's spot, I'd feel a lot better in it, really and truly, to go with all the multifunctional players as well. Zaha all the way. So yeah, man, it's one of them ones. What does Xhaka do? What does Xhaka do, bro? Explain to me. I mean, I'll be real with you. You know, if you at this moment in time, if you can't see what Xhaka brings to the team, I'm not saying he's amazing, but man, I'm not watching. Like, he's an intelligent. Listen, he does have mistakes. His ceiling and level is capped. You know what you're getting with Xhaka, but his mentality is there. His integrity is there. The team kind of runs through him. Obviously, Zinchenko and Odegaard have moved it away. But if the ball doesn't go into Xhaka, 9 times out of 10, we're not scoring. Xhaka, whether he's linked up with players or not, Xhaka is linking up with the Odegaards, with the Jesuses, with the Sakas, with the Martinellis, with the match winners. Obviously, Xhaka helps lead the press as well. You know, it's Jesus, Saka, Martinelli, behind Odegaard. Behind that is Xhaka. And, he obviously screens a lot. He's a multifunctional player. He's got, in a day and age where Arsenal players drop like flies. Let's be honest. He's durable. And he's one of the first names on the team sheet in Mikel Arteta's mind, really. Really and truly. He's one of the first names on the team sheet. So there has to be something to him. And that is why I'm saying let's revamp. Because I think personally we're going to live or die by our midfield. Arsenal really need another midfielder. Sorry, people, just making a time step. So, I mean, you can love him or loathe him, but you have to, if you're going to critique him, you have to, if you love Arsenal and you're honest with yourselves, you can see why Xhaka is playing with this current squad now. Whether Xhaka is good enough, whether we should be putting all our eggs in that basket is another thing. But in relation to what's going on, Xhaka is one of the most consistent midfielders in that team, one of the most reliable ones, pure centre mids. And I like Xhaka, but I don't want to say that because I think we should be upgrading and doing other things. But I have to be honest, I can't lie to myself and I don't want to lie to you. I can only go with what's in front of me. And that's what I believe. It's one of them ones, man. What it do, DG? Lokonga looked a little bit lively in the time he came on against Bournemouth. Sunshine, and everyone's going to look like that. People forget he tore his ACL in 2019, but physically he's matured a bit since last season. I mean, he tore his ACL, commiserations, but I don't think that's an excuse, if I'm honest with you. I don't think that everything I've seen with Lokonga to go to the next level, I don't think it's anything to do with the ACL. I think the majority of it is all mental. And I think he will come good, but he needed you. Do you think our improved system will protect Partey and less his burden? In theory, yeah. Yeah, we have to wait till 200, man. Get the likes up. Get the people them to hit the like button, and we go. To be fair, we're moving in a good direction. 156. I think Partey's supposed to be doing the Xhaka role. You want Xhaka? Nah. Lone 6 box-to-box settings, ball-winning midfielder. Anything Partey does in terms of passing, goals, that's all a bonus. But nah, I'm sorry, no. Nah. Zaha sometimes doesn't track back, much like every winger. And he'll have to do it under Mikel Arteta. If we or Jose, if he goes there. If we sign someone like Tielemans, we can play him and Xhaka instead of Partey in certain games, which is true, especially games where we control possession and are playing against a low block team. Exactly. And then you could have Zinchenko at left back, suffocating the midfield even more. It could be lit. What's your thoughts on our defensive depth? I would like another centre-back, if I'm honest. I do like Ben White and Zinchenko being a centre-back and a centre-mid by trade. Their adaptability, being able to play in that role. But I would like the best of both worlds in that we've got 2 on each side, fullbacks who are out-and-out fullbacks. And then Mikel Arteta's got the luxury of saying, yeah, you know what, Ben White, Zinchenko, you will play. At centre-back, I think we could do with another one. You do have Tomiyasu who can play there. If you switch to a back three, that does open up the likes of Tierney. Tomiyasu could probably play it in a 2, but Tierney, Tomiyasu, and doomsday option of Granit Xhaka. I do think we're a bit light. I'm happy with, Ben White playing right back as well as being able to be a centre-back. Asterisk next to Tomiyasu. Obviously, Gabriel and Saliba, you've got Rob Holding there as well. If you could get someone that was a bit more seasoned, that's maybe not as glamorous as them, but understands defending, everything that Pablo Mari was projected to be, if you could go and source that, then I would bring that into the squad. But I don't know if that's attainable or possible. Smith Rowe feels like a natural for the 8. To be fair, Smith Rowe, I'd say that's a medium to long term. I think short to medium term, I'm throwing Odegaard/Fabio Vieira there with the asterisk of Fabio Vieira's been injured. He's just signed for the club. Long term, Smith Rowe, you've got to be able to lock that down, in my opinion. Kevin De Bruyne and Grealish should be guide points for you. They've played everywhere that we're talking about you playing. If we get Zaha, Martinelli won't get games, and I can't see Mikel doing that. Disagree, very much disagree. But I hear that. Can't see Mikel doing that. Gabby, Saka, Smith Rowe, and Mikel projects. Yeah, but Gabriel's had to hold bench. Gabriel Martinelli, better yet, had to hold bench. Smith Rowe's had to hold bench. Saka will hold bench if he's not doing the job, but you give him every reason to play him because he's a good player. Not saying the others aren't. That's the same logic. To be honest, if we got Rafinha, then that same logic could have applied to any winger, really. Or if we signed another striker, which many people want. Watching Xhaka in All or Nothing, if I didn't know, I would have said he's a captain. Personally, would have given him back the armband. If Arteta doesn't sign a 6, he's naive. I mean, we're naive if we've gone through last season and we're not learning the same, and we're not learning lessons. That's why if injuries happen to everyone, but if we're unable to still get our goals with injuries, I have to look at Mikel Arteta and Edu. I can't look at the players because they're not in charge of that. We need the starting players and subs to be on the same level so nothing drops when they come on the pitch. So depth is key, but they have to be wise with it. Amen. Zaha would add quality to the squad, definitely, but Neto is a part of the project. You've kind of torn at the potential of either, as they both can be game changers. Do you think Arsenal will sign Tielemans and Neto and Zaha? Personally, not, but I don't know, man. Only thing I don't like about Zaha, anytime Palace lose the ball, he complains. I can understand he's frustrated, but show that by pressing and not throwing your arms in the air. Good point. Because Xhaka's never going to be people's cup of tea, bro. I think many people can say, you know what? He's not my cup of tea, but he brings something to the table. Many people, you've got Xhaka sexuals, he can do no wrong. They overrate the guy to high heavens. Then you've got people who underrate the guy to high heavens and act like he's a shit baller. He's not. It's just, he shouldn't. We're doing this Arsenal thing a bit like when we had Giroud, who should have been a squad player, but we was making him a striker trying to get 20 league goals out of him, 15, 20 league goals. It was never going to happen. Xhaka is one of the best passers in the team, and he starts off our attacks more often than not. Exactly. Bro, get Neto now, Paqueta and Jan. Xhaka will be good enough. Will be enough till then. Tielemans isn't an upgrade. I don't know if it's enough because there's a lot of football to be played. You know, there's a huge period between now and the end of the year. It's summer right now. I am Jamaican, but I'm ready for Ainsley Maitland-Niles to go. He's miffed, man. Given the convincing Arteta had to do with Xhaka to stop him leaving, do you think there could be an element of not signing Xhaka competition as repayment to him? Not really repayment, but you know, Xhaka plays week in, week out. So unless he sees someone that's better, I don't think he's gonna buy someone really. I don't, you know, you can't give him, you know, no one's bigger than the club. There's no assurances. To be fair, Xhaka gives Arteta every reason to utilize and play him. But I don't think he sat there and done that. I personally felt last year we wanted to make the move to Roma. It didn't happen. We said, you know what, give us everything. We'll revisit this year in a year's time. We'll look at the situation. But for whatever reason, that interest isn't there. So is what it is. I think if Xhaka's presented with certain proposals, I think he's on busting out. But then at the same time, he's happy here, which why wouldn't you be? Neto or Wilf, I ain't complaining. We'll be a different team if we got Zaha. Partey is there to be a ball winner thing. I'm trying to see a technical man in the 8. Santi vibes 8. Man, I'm not trying to see Uncle in there. Listen, Charles Sago Jr. is criminally underrated. I'm not here to say he's going to be this, that, and the other. He's a very intelligent lad, works hard, does a lot of work behind the scenes. Big up Kyle and Edwards as well. They're doing their thing. You know, I don't know where the game's going to take them. I don't know where their potential is going to take them. It's down to them and God, man, but they're two talented players. Xhaka, Tielemans midfield, that's a bit risky. Both have similar brain farts. True. Zaha would not invert or cut in if he plays on the right. I don't think you've watched Zaha from the right-hand side. He goes down the flanks. He goes inside all the time. You know, Zaha can play on the left and the right and up front. That's what we need. You know, just Pedro Neto can play on the left and the right in the 10 and up front. That's what we need. Every winger here. I know Arsenal fans get giggity. Oh, Martinelli can't play on the right. Pepe this, Saka that, even though Pepe's not going to be a thing. Any professional footballer, much less a team aspiring to be in the Champions League, if you can't affect the game or play on the left and right-hand side, hang up your boots. You can have a preference. You can do more damage from the other side. I'm not saying that, but yeah. Saka has looked a bit sluggish so far. Disagree. Just think he ain't scored. We don't have a proper replacement for Ramsdale. Boy, I don't know if Arteta will like Zaha's attitude. Xhaka loves the badge, and you can see that, though. Loving the badge hype. I'd love Zaha, but I feel like he goes against the profile of players Arteta and Eddie are after. I hear that as well. Attack is good, but we need a next CDM. Zaha seems to be a fan rumor to me. Amazing talking points, people. I think Arsenal will only grab Yuri for under 25 million. Arsenal have a few people that can cover that position. Think right wing is the club's priority. Give Saka the contract he needs and he'll work harder. I would take Zaha all day long. Man's a baller. You are right. The problem with Xhaka is that he's a good player. I can see why Tielemans is touted because he's a two-way player, which Xhaka is. Watching Tielemans comps, I see more defensive actions. There's more football between now and January because of the World Cup, right? Yeah, you know, we would have the international break at this moment in time. Forgive me if I'm wrong, 3 games into the season. You know, this is why we need to kind of ride off this momentum, really. You know, we had a good, obviously it's only pre-season, even though we've started well, you can't draw too many conclusions, but is it any coincidence we've had a good, I'm not even talking results necessarily, but you could throw that in. We've had a good pre-season, we've carried that into the season, and you don't want the season, you don't want any stoppages. People are staying fit, the team is working. Take advantage while we can, in it, really and truly. And that's why, for me, I'm so keen to take maximum points from August against Aston Villa and before that Fulham, where we're playing 2 former keepers in Martinez and Leno, and both teams are going to want to put a spanner in the works, really. So we'll have to see. I think if we bagged Zaha in 2019, we'd be a lot better, but can't go back in time, man. Man said, semi-retire in peace. That's also a factor. Tielemans won't play with Xhaka. I mean, realistically, there'll be a reality, you know. If Tielemans signs, it's probably you or Xhaka playing. But let's be real with ourselves. There will be some point where Partey probably gets injured and you will see Xhaka, Tielemans and Odegaard. And it gives us different options, man. We need to get Paqueta before the... I'm taking Paqueta, but I just don't think we're going to move for him. You know, if we can... You know, I just think he's very similar to a lot of players we've got that are able to play out wide as well as centrally. I think they're going to go for more of a pure pivot man, which Paqueta can do. And I want Paqueta, but I just think I wanted that rumor to be true. I just didn't buy it because of them reasons there, if I'm honest with you. Keep running up the likes, people. I think we're at 200 likes. I'm going to see what you look, a couple more things, then I'll circle back over. Promise is a promise. Hey, what's all of that? I hate international breaks as well. I don't rate Tielemans, to be honest. If Xhaka finishes the season with 10 goals and 5 assists, helps us qualify for Champions League, would you offer him a contract? I mean, if he scores, that's great, but Xhaka scoring is a bonus. Arteta's demanded you to get forward, but you hear what Arteta says in the press conferences. It's about the spaces he occupies and what he asks him to, you know. I think the question has to be, if he plays like this, does he get a new deal, really? Contracted until 2024, I believe, with an option of another year. So I'd probably hold on. I think Arsenal at some point going to have, no matter how good Xhaka has been, we need someone that's got a bit more longevity in that. Kissing the badge hat. I don't know how people think Tielemans ain't an upgrade on Xhaka. Morning, DG. Hope you're well, my guy. Peace and health to everyone in the nation. Appreciate you, my dude. Right back, big problem. 461 people watching. Come on, people, get the likes up. I respect that. I hear that. Keep your opinions and whatnot coming, people. But a promise is a promise. What's the time on the clock? 41:40. Let's start looking at the transfer news, people. I will, like I said, we'll circle back. Don't feel left out. I will go all the way back out. But yeah, man, I told you, look, 200 likes. You've held your end of the bargain. Let me hold mine in it. So where should we start? I think let's start. You know what? Let's start from back to front for a change, man. Let's start from back to front for a change. Well, I mean, if you're into the Milinkovic-Savic stuff, you know, he's been linked with Arsenal and more specifically United. Apparently, Lazio preparing to offer him a new deal, people. And again, while they haven't, I've still got hope for him and Fabian Ruiz. No logical hope, just small hope in it. As long as Fabian Ruiz has not signed for PSG, these, you know, Milinkovic-Savic, Fabian Ruiz, Carlos Soler, they would be players I'd be looking at, but it's a myth, really. In my opinion. But yeah, that one there is done. Europa League draw is on Friday. We will probably be watching that together, folks, so keep an eye out on that. No clue what relevance that has. We'll look at that later. Reece Nelson, apparently there's an exit on the cards for Reece Nelson, people. Now, he's currently injured. There's rumors he could be sent back out on loan. If the 22-year-old is sent back out on loan, give him a new deal to protect the resale value. He's contracted until 2023. It doesn't make any sense, really. You know, all this talk about Wingham for his potential, we should be talking about how he's in the mix. I do think Nelson has potential to be a Premier League player, but it looks like you've got to move away from Arsenal for your career to get somewhere in that regards, people. Apparently, Nelson could be out of action until October, could be set to leave on loan in any case. We're talking about an injury that was a training ground problem, but my understanding is that it could be after the international break before we see him back in contention. He's not a player we expect to push on and threaten a start unless there are a few injuries in the Arsenal squad. He may be a player that Mikel Arteta could still utilise as part of the European campaign when he rests and rotates the squad, or there could be potentially another loan move on the cards. But we are at least another month away from a return, which would indicate a grade 2 tier. With the international break coming around mid-September, it could be that sensible decision is to hold back until around October, and then he can kick on from there, really. So that's Reece Nelson. Apparently, Wolves closed door on Pedro Neto deal as Arsenal forced to explore 2 other options. Wolves have closed the door on Pedro Neto leaving this summer. According to reports, Arsenal have made the Portugal international their top target, but a deal is now thought to be extremely unlikely. We spent around 120 million already, and it could get better in that regards. Apparently, you know, a deal has almost zero chance of happening. They want to keep the 22-year-old. And as you know, Pedro Neto's club are in a very strong position as they have him contracted until 2027. If we don't get Pedro Neto, that's great, despite the fact that he's an Arsenal fan, that, you know, we've got links with Mendes, a couple clients at Arsenal, the fact that Mendes wants him to leave and all of those sort of things. That's cool. Moussa Diaby has or is in talks to sign a new deal at Leverkusen with a World Cup in place. I don't know if it makes sense for him to move. The Area VP, you know, it seems like Villarreal, Emre come out and said, you know, they'll let my man go in it. So that could be something to explore as well, really, and surely should be the easiest one. I don't care for we tried. If you wanted Tielemans all window, that's great. Make sure you get random Joe Blogs. If you want whoever on the wings, make sure you get something. You know, we tried as a hype. We need to actually have things happening now at the carpet, if I'm completely honest with you. 233 likes. Can we get to 300 people? Thank you in advance. So, yeah, man, Neto, like DRB, is considered untouchable at Leverkusen. There are also yet to be any negotiations with Villarreal over a deal for Yeremy Pino, people. So we'll have to see. Obviously, Arteta said we don't like reacting. Obviously, we want to get players that we believe will make a big impact in the team. If we can do that, we'll try to do that. If we cannot, we will stay with the players we have. No, the results doesn't change the plans, but we know as well where we are short, where we have to add more firepower. And if we can do it, we will do it. Firepower. Now, I'm playing devil's advocate. You have to accept words at face value, but the words are very important. If you were signing a defender, would you refer to it as firepower, or is firepower a term reserved for wingers and strikers and guys that are going to score and assist? I don't know if again, the manager, I'm getting 2 and 2 and getting $1 million, but I'm not saying Neto is going to sign, but he said firepower. And Arteta says things in smart little ways. He's like, we can't rely on the same 2-3 players to score. Even the other day, he's like, Jesus is doing great, but it can't just be him. So maybe that is an area. And the amount of wingers that we've been linked with, Noah Lang, Pepe, Gakpo, Pedro Neto, Rafinha, Sane, Gnabry, some obviously more likely than others, some unrealistic, but Zaha, we've been linked with a lot of wingers. Pino there as well. So there's got to be something of varying levels. Clearly, some of the names I said are more ready to impact Arsenal and the starting 11 selections right now. Some are more development prospects and things like that. The Mudryk guy as well from Ukraine, as my man Hero just said, and he looks decent. Some players evidently are a bit more raw than the others, but there has to have been something. And there's probably some guys we don't know. I don't know if Marquinhos and Nelson, if worse comes to worse, are given opportunities. I don't know if Pepe will be allowed to leave if we ain't getting someone in. And to be honest, it looks like, there must have been some optimism, because when we was linked with Rafinha, there was no talk around Pepe busting out. It looked like we was committed to try and getting that done, which we was obviously the man's third choice behind Chelsea and Barca. Now the logic is, Pepe has to reach an agreement with Nice, and then we could do this thing. But surely you're not, whether you rate Pepe or not, just in terms of the body, if something happens, you're going to be a bit light there. I don't know. I'm just reasoning with you lot. So that's the first thing in relation to Pedro Neto. Arsenal to move for Lucas Paqueta on one condition, with Mikel Arteta keen on signings. Lucas Paqueta is said to be on Arsenal's list of midfield targets to pursue in the advance of next week's transfer deadline. Scrolling all the way down, Arteta will sanction a move for Lyon midfielder Lucas Paqueta if they fail to land Yuri Tielemans from Leicester City between now and next week's transfer deadline, according to reports. We've been here, man. We've been here. Edu's never shied away from the fact that he likes him. 1 minute he doesn't want to sign for Arsenal, then he does. We've been here before, really and truly. The Lyon man is tied down until 2025. 1 minute he's available for 34 million, then he's available for 60 odd. I don't know. It's said that the North Londoners will only act on their interest for his signature if it becomes clear that Tielemans will be staying at Leicester. It said Tielemans is still Arsenal's top priority in midfield, with the Belgian playmaker set to become a free agent at the end of the campaign, people. As you know, Arsenal are believed to be planning to wait another year before securing his services without having to pay a transfer fee. A lot can change for a year, but if that's the case, bring Paqueta now, then, innit? If a move for Tielemans proves to be a step too far for Arsenal, they could reportedly decide to make a formal approach for Paqueta in advance of next week's all-important deadline. As you know, 6 assists and 9 goals for Lyon last campaign helped him quite a lot. Arsenal are not the only side in for Paqueta. Newcastle and Spurs have been monitoring him, people. And the president of Lyon has sat there and said, there are proposals for him. There are certain players who can feel complete in the project and others who don't. Economically, we have the means to pursue our ideas and objectives. The coach gave us his opinion, and there's also what the players want to do. So we'll have to see how that one develops. Again, I can't understand this, so we're going to have to do up Google Translate. Or not. You're going to no Google Translate? All right, well, I think I'm just going to have to take it old school, people, and copy and paste this into Google Translate. This is the article we're looking at, but I don't know why Google Chrome isn't giving me the option. I can't understand Portuguese, but, let's just Take it old school, and I'll just keep that up there for aesthetics. Despite the Gunners' interest, the game knows that the door to the extreme exit is closed, placed in Arsenal's orbit. The possibility of Pedro Neto heading to the Gunners is almost nil, according to what Ojogo has found. Wolverhampton closed the door on the departure of the Portuguese international, who recently signed a new deal until 2027. The intention of the leaders of the team, led by Bruno Lage, is to keep the winger for at least one more season. I mean, good players people don't want to sell, you know. Based on rejecting 60 million for Anthony Gordon, Everton don't want to sell. Really, good people don't want to sell good players. Real Madrid did not want to sell Casemiro. United, rightly or wrongly, gave my man an offer he couldn't refuse. Leicester do not want to sell Fofana. They're trying to give them offers that can't be refused. This article goes on to say, in an interview with the Times, Pedro Neto refused to make great comments about the situation, but he did not hide his pleasure at the interests of the Londoners. A player always likes to hear that kind of thing, but I'm focused on my work at Wolverhampton, and I feel very good. It's good for me and my mentality to know that people recognize my value. And obviously, this is his 4th season at Wolves. He went on to say, which Arsenal are not in, the Champions League is every player's dream. So make of that what you will, people. So, yeah, I don't know what to believe in that regard, but that's that article. Elliot, he's a vice chairman of One Football. Apparently got to think that Gibbs White inflated prices linked to this possible Neto deal. JM, George Mendes, is the best at getting his clients the moves they want, and his fees, plus his personal links to Wolves are well known, and his growing links at Arsenal, really. You said you can't prosper with agent links. Neto reveals Champions League ambition amid Arsenal speculation, people. The dream for any player is to play in the Champions League. I want to help this club, Wolves, to go higher and higher, because I think we have the potential with the way we work, the way we sign players, the way we try to arrive there. And obviously the signings that they've brought in, they want to marry that with it as well. That Portuguese outlet is tier 1, by the way. All I care about is, by all means, go for Neto. Just make sure you're going for a next guy, because if you're not going to put down the P's, Wolves aren't going to let it happen. Big up G1 in the cut. Nice to see you back now that United have won. We were very close last year, but it's missing something, and that's something we have to work between us. I don't know if I could score 5 or 15. I don't know. The season before last, I did good work and helped the team a lot. We were one of the teams that created most chances in the league, and as a striker, I always like to have opportunities. So we'll have to see. Bruno Lage said, I heard about that, but nothing has come to us. It's normal to have this interest, but no one told me nothing about any proposals, so I cannot confirm nothing. Arsenal are focused on Nicolas Pepe's departure. And again, it's just Mendes talking on behalf of Wolves and Arsenal. So obviously they know about it, but there hasn't been any official offers. A bit like when Brendan Rodgers has said there's been no offers for Tielemans. Arsenal haven't bidded. So it's the truth, but it's not the truth. We've been linked with Zaha. I don't know how credible Dean Jones is. Obviously, Arsenal targeting Crystal Palace forward Wilf Zaha could be something to watch out for, according to transfer insider Dean Jones. People, according to Goal, the Gunners are we know the Gunners are interested in Yeremy Pino. I don't think that's quite the news we was potentially looking for, but great stuff. 262 unexpected high bills for anyone who ain't hit that like button. We know we tried to sign Zaha in 2019. Apparently, he has said, if I can see it, pop-ups are putting me off. He's looking in hot form, and if an offer doesn't land in the next week from someone, then I'll be surprised. He's not the main man Arsenal are thinking about at this stage, as far as I know. Yeremy Pino is more appealing, but this one could become interesting. Apart from the obvious reasons why we might be interested in Zaha, it doesn't say anything there. He's not said any insider stuff or anything, so bit of an overseller. Sandro Tonali has never been an option for Arsenal or any other English club this summer. He's intouchable, and he's going to sign a new contract with Milan in the next few weeks. He will sign until 2027 following Tomori's contract extension. So, yeah, never trust when we're linked with midfielders out of Italy, innit, folks? Allegedly, I don't know what to believe, but apparently Daniel Cutt said Arsenal's issues around Yuri Tielemans' deal are Leicester's asking price, more than 50 million with just a year left. Not sure I believe that. Yeah, he could be reliable, but I can only go off what I've seen, did it really? I can only go off what I've seen. I don't know him from nowhere. I don't know how reliable you are. I don't know your phone book. We just talk about these transfers. The dream is free. The hustle is sold separately, as I always say. If nobody's holding shirts, I don't know. I don't know these brothers from nowhere, really and truly. Everyone's got their own opinions. And based on what he said it could be one to watch. We've sat here and spoke about potential talking points as to why Zaha could be appealing, as to why Gnabry or Sane could be appealing. Sane won, apparently Bayern Munich are saying he needs to make progress this year. But what sort of traffic? You know, you've not said anything about the relationship with Arsenal and Zaha's agent. About you've not even mentioned the fact that he's a fan. So reliability for me is very subjective. But this done said, Tielemans' wage demands are huge compared to what Arsenal are willing to pay, and apparently they're looking at 50 million. Ben Jacobs has apparently counteracted that and said broad personal terms have been agreed. If Arsenal bid, he'll sign. Also, my understanding is Leicester want just over 30 million or early in the window 35 all in, which is basically what they paid for him. Arsenal value him at just under 25 million in January, I believe 23 million, and not a lot has changed in that regards. Get on to them, G1. 271 likes. Appreciative if you've done that. Over 400 folks tuned in. Very appreciative of all of you lot tuned in. But come on, man. Let's do that. Let's get that one over the line, people. You got it in you lot. I believe in every one of you lot, mate. Yeah, you're blocked for being a pussy, but anywho, let's see what else he's had to say about it. You know, if he found us a bit irrelevant to us. Obviously, I mean, stop doing all the mad transfer man stuff, man. Just talk about what we need to see. Obviously, we know Aubameyang could be going wherever. Where else, man? I don't think he said anything more on Tielemans, to be fair with you. Should we try one more time? So I don't think he's got nothing new on Tielemans, and I don't really want to hear about Tielemans until we've signed someone. As an aside, Arsenal better hurry if they want Yuri Tielemans. Wouldn't remotely surprise me if Liverpool changed their stance and consider a late window bid. Tielemans still wants Arsenal, and a move remains very possible. Leicester brace for offers. I mean, if you know, it is what it is. Once again, Southampton also want Ainsley Maitland-Niles in addition to West Ham, Fulham, and Bournemouth. Hopefully, that can be done really and truly. You know, just don't matter, don't care where you go, just cut somewhere. Wolves have joined the race to sign Kudus. They're set to make an offer. Obviously, he can play up front as well as on the flanks. Pedro Neto the same. So is that a replacement? I don't know. Arsenal want to sell Maitland-Niles, but could also be open to a loan with the option of a permanent deal. Is there another clause in his contract? He's been told he's not part of Arteta's plans and the club are keen to offload him, rightly so. I mean, unless you're going to renew his deal for a year to protect value, what's the point loaning out players with a year left on their deals? Talk Shite has said that Southampton, Bournemouth and West Ham have been offered the chance to sign him. I don't want to click on this website, but, you know, let's just in the grand scheme of things, just to see where this is. Oh, it's the same old. So, yeah, we ain't learned nothing new in that regards. I mean, Southampton's not far from London. That could be a good one for you, really. Nice are progressing on the deal to sign Pepe. Mudryk, one to watch towards the end of the window. Arsenal watched him closely, but nothing beyond initial inquiries. Other Premier League teams are interested as well. Pardon me. Bayern Leverkusen try to sign him as well. Boy, Arsenal played 9 matches in October, 6 in the Premier League, 3 in Europa. Let's see what's going on there. So we'll have to see what's going on. As we said, Wolves have closed the door on Pedro Neto departing. I hear that. So, yeah, it seems like not much there. Bellerin to Betis. According to this publication, only hours, Bellerin and Jean Mata have settled everything with Betis. Now Betis must release part of the wage bill to release them with the team. So I think that means they've got to deal with some potential outgoings. Let's see what Mr. Connor Harrison is saying as well. Apparently, Ainsley is guaranteed to leave. I think it means this window. I hear that. West Ham have been in contact with the agents of Ainsley Maitland-Niles to step up the deal, and it could be done for around £6 million. Apparently, Bournemouth have tried to get him. The player would rather stay in London, but hasn't ruled out a move. So that, you know, that could be Fulham or West Ham given the driving seat. Once again, Arsenal have been informed via middlemen that this offer won't even be considered. Let's see what the response is. Declined before even submitted. Player and agent willing to push to drive price down. I mean, you got to take a leaf out for Farner's book. That is a follow-up tweet to what he said yesterday. Arsenal preparing bid for Yuri Tielemans. Couple outgoings to be confirmed in the coming days. Then official offer will be sent. Believed to be around 17.5 guaranteed with some add-ons. In relation to Pedro Neto, Arsenal love Pedro Neto. However, it isn't going to be cheap. Player would love the move. Don't expect Arsenal to get in for anything less than 45 million. Wolves would accept payment instructions. Won't be a fast deal, but everyone is moving in the right direction. Arsenal have no issue surrounding personal terms with the Wolves Portuguese winger. Offer around 120k per week. However, Wolves want a guaranteed 50 million. Mendes wants his client to make the move to North London and is working hard to broker a deal between the clubs. Apparently, it is all dependent on Pepe leaving, also worth noting, as he has said there. So, we'll have to see, man. Still no change for those asking regarding Yuri. Player wants move. Arsenal in no rush. They'll 100% move from this window. They're just trying to drive the price down. Boy. So we'll have to see what's going on. Again, I don't know if these lot are gospel and these sort of things. 284 likes, over 500 people here. Subscribe if you are new and like the video. Doesn't cost a penny to show support over here. Appreciate that. Big up Zaha as well. Like South London's finest. It said, smash the likes, people. Can we get 300 and subscribe? Road to 50k and follow Twitch links in the description. Big up you lot, especially you lot that are here day in, day out. Don't think this is relevant to us. Bellerin once again is being linked with Barcelona. They tried to buy Foyth. It didn't bang. Don't know where Bellerin goes. Don't really care. Like a lot of you, just hope he sorts it out. Salah has joined Championship side Hull City on a season-long loan. They do have an option of a buy, so he's more or less their player. Arsenal are not affected by the FFP as of now. Apparently, Dean Jones has also said Arsenal, not the only two names they're looking at in Neto and Pino. In the background, there is Will Zaha. Zaha is definitely one of those players that ticks the boxes and that Arsenal have their eye on. We'll have to wait and see if they go down that path. Zaha is obviously in red hot form at the moment. All right, calm. Doesn't appear like anything's happening in that regards or that regards. Once again, PSG consider Carlos Soler from Valencia. So this is what we need to be getting, either Soler or Fabian Ruiz or something like that, really. But other than that, I can't see it happening. So yeah, man. It's a bit of a shit news day, really, if I'm completely honest. It's a bit of a poor news day. Then again, maybe there's something new here for us here. I don't know, man. We'd have to draw what conclusions we draw. I don't know. Let's see what's here. Arsenal Serie A winner. Who? Sandro Tonali, come on now. Apparently, Moussa Diaby is loved at Arsenal. We'd love to have him as well. Diaby is a player they love at Arsenal. It says for Romano. Ainsley's being linked with moves away again, so it's all tired, really. What else is going on in the world of Arsenal? Barca have told Bellerin to wait. Let's change it to the last hour. Once again, Bruno Laga's played down rumors allegedly, and they're going to do that in it until they get what they believe he's worth. So we're gonna have to see what's going on there. We got Saladini set to face Coventry. So yeah, apart from that, it seems like that is it, really and truly. Don't seem like there's any other credible rumors. Let me circle back and see what you lot were saying in the comments, because we did have to air you lot for a sec, but we're back again. So I think that's that. If we get Zaha, we're winning the league. They're offering Soler out for free. We had to reject that. Real Madrid, this guy. Zaha is the best. Thought about that. Anthony Gordon to Chelsea is brazy. Wanted Aronson this summer, would have fit the profile. Went for cheap, pressing, left-footed, young, hungry, can rotate on the right or the 10. Very underrated people now. People are talking about. I hear that, bro. My man, I will gift you $100. Keep your money, man. That Roma loan effed up Ainsley. No, it didn't, because... Well, yeah, it did, because it makes everyone go, well, yeah, maybe Arteta was unfair to not play you, but you got to be doing something, because Jose played you one, 2 games, you got rubbed out. I mean, he ended up becoming a European winner with in the Conference League. But, yeah, you know, it's Ainsley's just not good enough for the level he wants to play at this moment in time. You need to show you're a consistent right back or centre mid. Saying he's going to come on the show and then not taking a piss, really, which no one knows me nothing, but it's a joke, man. Zaha and Tielemans would make us serious challenges in my honest opinion. This Tielemans deal gives me the young vibes. Only differences are the young saga is dead. Being a pussy, that's why. If we act slow, Liverpool will snatch Yuri since they're also linked. That's the risk you take. And if that happens, great. And it's not great, better yet. But make sure you got other targets. I don't want to hear about we was going for Tielemans and this and that. And if you haven't, then you're going to live or die by this midfield. Don't give us a reason to look back. I think Zaha would thrive at Arsenal. A fresh start, has always wanted to be here, would bring a strong attacking threat. 25 million transfer, 2-year deal. We're looking for a more short-term option. I hear that. When you play for Palace, that was mid-table for many years. Don't you expect Zaha to complain? Haven't seen him complain once recently. Can see him and Arteta not working. Zaha's got bad energy. I mean, you don't know the man unless you know. How's he got bad energy? Obviously, if you're perceived in the media like that, why not? But how's he got bad energy? This is a man who's gives up some of his wages to charity. This is a man who helped Crystal Palace's women's team. This is a man who does a lot for the community. Really and truly. How's he got bad energy? Because he flaps his arms and he doesn't get taken for a dickhead. I'm not saying you're wrong, but provide me some examples. Like, if we're going to say things, we can't not just say things. We need to have some tangible proof. Arsenal is interested, but Wolverhampton has exit door closed. Zaha is the better player, but his attitude ain't good for the team. How, though? I think it would be Neto or Mudryk. Amen. Should push for Zaha if this Neto deal longs out till deadline. Yeremy Pino scored against Atletico Madrid this week in a Villarreal 2-0 win. You're doing better than us at the moment. No clue support, but yeah, man. We should move on from Neto since they'll ask for an arm and a leg. Let's just get Tielemans to solidify that midfield. Keep Nelson. We have a very high impact season ahead, especially with the World Cup. We hope our players come back with no injuries, but we know football. Nelson got a bounce. Hot take, I don't think we need a wide player if Pepe stays. We should focus on a solid Partey backup. Surprised Yuri isn't pushing for a move to make it cheaper. We don't know what he is or isn't doing. Man said, well, you said man are getting hench over the summer. Yeah, I see. It's fresh home and that is nothing, man. They freed me. They freed the guy, man. I'm gassing, but a big exaggeration. But I think that Zaha could be what Ronaldinho was to Messi, a good tool in his progress. I see what you mean for the young tugs. Mad examples, that, but I see what you mean. It's a bit mad, but I see what you mean. Don't Xhaka, Tielemans, Odegaard midfield scare you? I wouldn't say scare me. I want a lot better, but wouldn't say scare me. We need someone like Fabinho or Fernandinho in the middle. He's an upgrade on Xhaka, but not as big as an upgrade that people think he is. We need a right wing. Zaha as a left wing. I want Neto instead, and he's 8 years younger, so as resale value. I mean, Pedro Neto that can play on the left and the right. I hear you, though. Zaha can play striker as well. Why are fans still chatting about Paqueta or Milinkovic-Savic? We are never signing these guys. What's your thoughts on the Brazilian playing jeering Casemiro on him retiring by guy Man United? What? Would you say there, my guy? I can't, Casemiro to say he played for Man United, to say he played in the Prem to get the bag, the money, and this contract and whatnot at 30. If that's what you're asking me, I can't say no to it if I was him. Zaha is Saka is 20 years old. I'm trying to read two things at once. Someone said I prefer Zaha. Zaha announced yet, big up DG. Saka is 20 years old. I disagree with him blocking progress, and I also think the manager has an understanding of Zaha's character. Struggle to see why that would be hard to manage. I think he'll fuck with him, really. That's just me. I don't rate Tielemans, to be honest. Feel like the club is waiting for the window to force Leicester City's hand on Tielemans, but if they don't budge, we won't overpay. Good chance we don't bring anyone else in. Boy. Pedro Neto has no finishing touch. Sane will be better, but we can't get Sane right now, bro. You know that. I know that. Man said if we get a winger in Yuri, selecting Arsenal in FIFA 23 or FM would feel amazing. Scared, man. We definitely need a backup / competition for Partey. If he gets injured, we are screwed. We need to get Paqueta before the weekend. Probably even if we were going to get Paqueta, I don't think that would happen. You are right. The problem with Xhaka is that he's a good player. I can see why Tielemans is touted because he's a two-way player, which Xhaka is. Watching Tielemans comps, I see more defensive actions. I think Arsenal will only grab Yuri Tielemans for under 25. Arsenal will have a few people that can cover that position. Think right wing is the club's priority. I hear that. Pardon me. Zaha is that guy given the money. The man belongs in the top 6 side. Zaha is the perfect signing. We need him to push our lads on the wings. Boy. This is the comment of the day, really. You know, Neto or Wilf, I ain't complaining. I ain't complaining. I want Zaha. Are we getting Zaha? I don't know, man. Big up DG. It was frantic last Saturday when I couldn't find your stream. Honestly, had me real sad. Then I remember Criminal Blues. I'm sorry. Arsenal, Fulham. Again, no watch along. Content in the build up, but no watch along. We go again for Villa, and that's it done, in it. I'm actually pleasantly surprised or disappointed. Like I didn't think you lot would miss me that bad. Quite a lot of you said, "Oh, where's the watch along?" I was thinking, raw, like bloody hell, it's a heartwarming moment as a content creator, man. But bloody hell, 317 likes. If you've hit the like button, thank you very much, man. Every like helps the engagement. Every subscription, the same, man. You lot are lit. I prefer Zaha over Pepe when we purchased in Premier League proven. Arsenal making definite interest in Tielemans, Pedro Neto, and to a lesser extent, Paqueta. I think Arteta doesn't like disobedience. He doesn't like open displays of that on the pitch. He's like, yeah, he likes yes, sir, no, sir. Not sure if Zaha and him would work well. I hear that, but at the same time, do I think there's not difficult characters? I think Xhaka is respectful, but Xhaka's a man. Arteta is a man. They've got personalities. They're going to say something. I do agree with you, and that is one area I'm watching Arteta because it's very easy to rub out Mesut Ozil, who's past it, Aubameyang, whose form's not there. Just for argument's sake, what if it's who's flavour of the month right now? Xhaka or Saka or Saliba? What if he was beefing them, man? Because you can't always do that. Sometimes you have to give a slap on the wrist and move from it. I hear you to a degree, though. Buying Zaha after choosing Pepe over him 3 years ago would be embarrassing. Not sure how that works because, you know, if Palace weren't playing hardball them times, I think we get him. Pepe's club in Lille, they're a selling club. They were happy to sell. They were happy to do the Bright House payments and get paid 10 years later. Calm. Probably get a little interest as well. Been calling for Zaha for 3 years. Zaha doesn't have a bad attitude. He has just wanted a move to a big club for a while and deserves it. Obviously, half of the sick players in the Premier League had difficult attitudes. You think Vieira was an easy character to deal with? You think Henry was an easy character, especially them Frenchmen? You know how Cantona as well. You know, them man, they're petite as well. Them man will open their mouths when they need to. You think Ronaldo, even before Ronaldo became this GOAT, like I'm talking when he's become a bit surty at United, you think Rooney was a difficult character? Like half of these guys wanted to leave their clubs almost every week, if you lot remember. Half of the best players are difficult characters, or if they're not difficult characters, they're mavericks. Or if you've got a rule for if there's 21 players in your squad, you can have a rule for 20 and then a rule for 1. And you get that. That comes with the territory when you're wavy. So I'm not saying we're wrong, but where does this bad attitude? Does he frustrate? Does he whine? Yeah, but I wouldn't say bad attitude. I can see why you'd say that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but where's the bad attitude thing coming from? You know, I just think Zaha don't take bad up. He's just not a dickhead. I think he buys. Listen, if he had a bad attitude, Zaha would have been beaten up long time by Vieira. You saw what Vieira did to the Everton fan that tried him. You know, if he didn't, do you think he cares? He would have headlocked him time ago, wrapped him very quickly, beat that out of him. I don't know, man. Who cares about short or long-term plans if we're winning titles now? We're not winning titles now, though. Fans are soft and just want yes men like Arteta. Zaha catching Pogba propaganda. BS, if you know what Zaha does around South London, you wouldn't say that. And Zaha has that angry black player tag from the racist media. I do agree. Zaha turning 30 in November. I do think people see 30 and get a bit giggity in that. And obviously, you need to give yourself a get-out clause and be able to finesse it when he drops off. And you do see a lot of times people sign a new contract and, you know, and then they kind of mess up. But for me, I like to think Zaha, at the end of the day, you ain't got long left. You got your dream move if it did happen, you know. Sense of urgency. In the same way I get that with Xhaka and El Nene, and I would like to say Cedric, but not, because you man are 29, 30. It's great for Saka if you sign Pedro Neto and all these guys, if they take a while to grow, because these men are in their early 20s. In 3 years, you lot are 33 odd, and you can still play, you know, but not all of you are gonna have that. Agree, DG. A few years too late for Zaha. We had the chance and passed, and that's also what I believe. Can we push for 400 now, people? DG, those shoulders look fire. I'm trying, bro. Sorry, but little thing. Yeah, shout out the shoulder press. Shout out the shoulder press. Just wish the calves would get that. What top you wearing, DG? I don't even know what this is, man. I thought I bought this on ASOS time ago. Humble ASOS vest, my guy, man. I see Ben Jacobs on a lot of pages as well. Proper joke, man, bro. Proper joke, man. Kept saying, yeah, he's on it. Organized it twice. It's cool. We don't owe, man. I ain't flopped it. DM me on Instagram. I was like, fuck that. It's cool, man. Suck him, man. Zaha is dead feud. Maitland-Niles has no preferred option. Not gonna lie, I've never been on the Zaha train. I've always felt he would be perfect for Arsenal. I always felt he would be perfect for Arsenal player because of his bad attitude and selfish mentality. I don't want any more of them in our dressing room. We need that. As long as you have humility, which I think Zaha has, is calm. You know, as long as I think Zaha thinks his shit don't stink. Do I think he thinks he's better than anyone? No. Even when you look at the Ravel Morrison thing, you know, you go back a few years under 21s. Do you remember him and Ravel Morrison were fighting? Why were they fighting? Because Zaha said, you're not passing to no one, not just me. You're not passing to no one. You think you run the show and you think the rest of us are nobodies. So I do think he's got the humbleness to know I'm not better than I'm not better than any man or woman. Is what it is. But he does have a positive chip on his shoulder. You need that. Half of our play, bro. Lauren had that. Come on, chip on the shoulder. You think man are trying to jump on Ruud van Nistelrooy's head at Old Trafford and mocking him for missing a penalty? It's just about having humility. We need that. I know we've got characters here that are a bit more, you know, never getting detention, them sort of guys, but it is what it is. How much are Palace asking? I don't know. I don't think we're going for him. This is what I'm saying. I think Zaha would unstable the dressing room. How? Like, I'm not saying you're wrong, but how? How are we getting this? I hear that, Justin. How? Where are we drawing this? How would he? Because bearing in mind, you lot don't even know what's going on in the dressing room. You know, we saw the all or nothing. We don't know who or isn't. Half the players you think are elite captains, and how do you know they're not? They are or not? How do we know? I'm not saying anybody's wrong, but like, I'm trying to gauge the thought process. How? He's in America now. By Mr. Dean Jones. I like Zaha, just needs to work on how easily he's wound up by, man. That's true. I would take Maddison a bit like Zaha. I like their attitudes. You know, they want to be the showman. They want the swagger. They're humble. We need, as much as I think we've got that now, but I think we need a bit of them. You know, we need players that don't get too upset when they're going wrong, and players that, when it's every reason not to play, it's wet, it's windy, you step out the tunnel, the 12th man, the fans are throwing stuff at you, they're mocking you, they're chanting you, the opposition are kicking you, the ref is against you. I need dons that see this and stand up to be counted, which I think we're in our squad now. We're moving towards that, but I haven't seen it. We haven't really gone through any adversity. People were, myself included, were gassing up Crystal Palace away. We got through that. You know, Leicester, we did that. I thought we would see a much better Bournemouth. We did that. But we haven't gone through any tests really and truly. When things are going well, as we see at Arsenal, no disrespect, but it's easy to be confident when there's every reason to be confident. That's why man are doing wavy flicks and tricks. When you try that flick, the other team go down the other end and score. Where's the mentality? Have you got the mentality to try that again? Calculated risk, but have you got it to try it again? When there's every reason not to want to play football, are you able to do it? And that is one reason as to why our season crumbled at the latter end of the season. To go with game management, not holding on to leads from winning positions at the start of our year, maybe not doing things in January, inability to hold on to points from winning positions, Crystal Palace at home, Man United away, Everton away. Had you have just got 3 points from them games, where would we be? But that's neither here nor there. We can only deal with the facts, and that's on Friday. Couple days, we'll be doing up Europa League draw and seeing who's in the groups. So we're going to have to see what's going on there, really and truly. Transfer rumor thoughts. Sorry, folks, making a timestamp. Big up you lot, man. It's always an elite stream, but yeah, man. Zaha wouldn't mind as option 2 if Neto doesn't come. Just hope can get a winger and an 8 sorted. I'm with that. It's like leaving the main thing and going back to the... Oh, yo. Chill. Anthony's lit, but, you know, them Dutch clubs are just robbing everyone, really and truly. How bad do United want to give Ten Hag someone? Overpaying, but if he does the business, nobody really cares. Zaha would be Pepe we actually needed. Gabby and Saka are going to burn out, especially with European football this season and all the outgoings. We cannot afford to bring anyone else in. We can't afford to not bring anyone else in. Liverpool are looking dead. Chelsea are looking mid. Spurs haven't looked amazing. I hear that. What else are you lot saying? Elite conversation, man. Zaha is good. Zaha is good if we want him for a few years, but Neto can stay for like 5. I hear that. Apparently Chelsea want Maguire. They are about to turn Stamford Bridge into Stamford Fridge. I'm sure United would love for that, but they're moving mad, really. Chelsea, you're just buying people for the sake of it. That's just panic stations. Yeah, English and all of that sort of jazz. And to be honest, he might look a bit better in the back three because he struggles to defend, really, that them man run. But yeah, man, I'm not too sure if that's the case. DG, all they know is what Sky TV and media tell them. They take in racist food and ask for more, just like Sterling, pure jealousy and hate due to skin tone. Did you see Zaha swear at his fans? Do you think Zaha is sacrificing playing week in, week out? But that's what you take joining a bigger club, really. Calvin Phillips, game time's going to be limited, but if you take your chances within reason, you've got nothing to worry about. Grealish, you're not. It's not going to be the Villa thing and anybody else, really and truly. Saka, if you go to City tomorrow, because you're always linked, Liverpool's form, you probably would play, really. But, it might be more competitive. Fabio Vieira, you might play week in, week out for Porto. Once you step in here, it's not that thing. Even Zinchenko, it's not necessarily guaranteed. You're going to get more minutes, but it's not guaranteed you're playing. Who is guaranteed to play in that Arsenal team beyond the obvious starters? I would say, I don't think, unless Gabriel, Jesus, Saka, and Xhaka, unless their form drops off a cliff, maybe Gabriel as well, unless their form drops off a cliff, they're playing week in, week out. Ramsdale the same. Other than that, and there's still that, you can't afford for that, there's still that monkey on their back. Cody Gakpo, I'm not really with it. If he goes United and does a madness, or in the future, I would say I got that wrong. But at this moment in time, it looks a bit too raw, man. It looks a bit too raw for me. I think we've got a lot of project players. What's good, cuz? Douglas Luiz. I wouldn't mind Douglas Luiz still. I wouldn't mind Douglas Luiz. But it seems like we've gone away from that. Gakpo looks calm. He looks like if he goes to them Dortmunds and them clubs there, that he's calm. But at this moment in time, I don't know if you're going to have certain guarantees that I might get with Zaha or others. So I would leave that. I think we've got a couple of other project players here already. If he signed, I'm not going to cry. And obviously, in a year's time, he could be lit. DG, would you take a gamble on Ismail Assar from Watford? Nah, I like him, not kicked on enough. He's still young, not kicked on enough for me. I'd rather try the Gakpo thing, really. I'd leave them alone, really. I'd probably buy Zaha. Couldn't even care if Zaha's having fist fights in the dressing room. Man's a baller, plus I've never seen him be a problem player. I think he has got the right attitude. I think Zaha doesn't get excited. He can coach out rawness. You're not listening, G1. You're either trolling. We've got rawness in the team. He's going to, he's going to have to coach that already. How many puzzles can you complete? You can only complete one puzzle at a time. You got two hands. You've already got rawness. So if there's exceptions to the rules that is better than what we have, why not? But, you've got to get a tune out of Martinelli, Eddie. You've got to take Jesus, Martin, Odegaard, Zinchenko to the next level. Tomiyasu, despite moving like a veteran, he's 22 years of age. Ben White isn't the finished article. Gabriel isn't the finished article. Saliba is 21. Only played 3 games for Arsenal Football Club. He's making great progress, but he is not the finished article. Aaron Ramsdale is my guy. I love him, but he shows himself to be a 24-year-old goalkeeper at times. Lokonga is very raw. Tavares, if we're countering in last season. Fabio Vieira's just signed. While we're talking about versatility and stuff, you still need to be either an 8 that can play everywhere else, a winger that can play everywhere else, or whatever. So why are you going to add more to the squad? Because as much as it's that, we're not a farm, We're not a farmer. If I'm a farmer, I might be growing a mango tree, but if I don't go and sell my other fruits in the market, I'm not getting food to pay my bills and things like that. The young players are the fruit. Sometimes we might need some instant impacts now. So if we can't necessarily do that, of course, there's exceptions to the rule. Pedro Neto is raw, but there's levels to this rawness, really and truly. Yeah, he's still raw, blood. Like, he's still raw, man. I'm not even caring about his age. He's still raw from what I see. If he signs, I don't mind it. He fits the age profile. Obviously, he's a captain and that. Yeah. I'd rather just work with what you've got, really. I'd monitor him for a year. And if we miss out, I hold my hands up. My talent ID was Fugazi. But, yeah, man, that's how I feel still. To me, I think Zaha would be a good addition for the Gunners. 23. Appreciate that. Zaha worked for Roy, who was mad structured and strict. I appreciate that. We're not a farm, bro. What about Memphis? I mean, if we could do a lot worse. Love for the super chat, broski, if I didn't make that clear as well. Zaha deserves the move. He's been balling for time and people still want to slander his name like he ain't that guy. Would love for us to go for Fofana. Hey, he's decent. Provided you're talking about the centre mid. Zaha would be the cherry on the cake, make us a title threat in the current season. I'm not too sure about that. Appreciate that. That's a trap game looking feet. I wanted them, man. I get the shoulders and the arm. The chest are now coming, but the legs is a bit mad still. Can we go for Bernardo Silva? Maybe when he was at Monaco or when he was 12 years of age. Not right now, because the marketing on Zaha signing would be mad. Would love some substance to the slander on Zaha from the comment section. So with that, I'm not trying to. Bro, you lot might be talking the truth, but why you say like where is that? Because obviously, because I love football and I see football at deeper levels, and obviously I see it with young players. And Zaha isn't young, but I know in football nowadays, and I could give you an example of a certain player who was released from a certain club, and then he's actually went on trial for a certain club, and the head of academy, sat there and said, "We've had your file on our system, and we've never gotten it." Open the file, it says bad attitude, and that man himself has sat there and said he ain't got a bad attitude. The problem with football, if you say enough things enough times, people latch onto it and believe it and stuff. And I'm not saying Zaha doesn't have a bad attitude. I'm just saying if you're going to say these things about a man, make sure you've got evidence for it, really. I'm not saying he doesn't, and obviously as a football fan we're limited, but where is it? Just because you open your mouth and moan doesn't mean you have a bad attitude. Doesn't mean you're disruptive. Do you think Zaha is going to sacrifice playing? I already saw that. Zaha might spice up the dressing room a little more if needed. That's why we all know what's being said, you know. That's why man overcompensate when they're praising Kante and Saka to the point where they treat them two individuals like they're children and completely emasculate them. Or I don't know the word for making an adult feel like a child, but childlike, innit? We all know why, because they're seen as the good, you know, innit? If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't, innit? It's a privilege that you haven't had to be wary of, really and truly. If we sign Neto, he would be a role player, so it's more realistic. If we sign Zaha, Martinelli gets dropped, what happened? Bro, anyone can get dropped. Anyone can get it. We're linked with Diaby, wouldn't mind it. But where Gakpo, whether he goes to United or Arsenal, where Diaby, where even Pedro Neto, where half of these players, if you want to play in the World Cup, what's the way to do it? By playing in it. Fabio Vieira's talked about the Portugal squad. Is he necessarily going to get that off the back of it? Right now, I don't know. Saliba's taking a risk. He was playing week in, week out for Marseille. He is for Arsenal at this moment. But yeah, the World Cup is something to think about. For Diaby, a bit like Christopher Nkunku, who early in the transfer market linked with everyone. Maybe that's a carrot, you know. Let me stay one more year. Stability thing. Do what I'm doing. World Cup, it is what it is. Edu needs a Brazilian midfielder to complete the Brazilian takeover. Paqueta will bring flair and dance moves. Bring it, man. I appreciate that, my guy. Love for the super chat. DG, there isn't nothing whatsoever. Ask anyone to post one thing that Zaha has so we can look into it. I've said that, bro. You know, it's getting a bit awkward. DG worried about Mitrovic, of course. But I hope Saliba and Gabriel, and not just them, are all up to the challenge still. I think we need a party replacement urgently. Fear of him not being in the midfield is real. I hear that. You're not wrong. At all, man. 61 likes. Appreciative of that, people. I'm dream chasing, but can we scheme on 400 now? I agree. Just saying competition is needed. Almost don't want to see it. Exactly. Zaha just doesn't take any nonsense on the pitch and stands up. Zaha or Saint-Maximin. Zaha's going to be cheaper, but I like Saint-Maximin. If Saint-Maximin could just pick his head up a bit more and play like that every week, obviously easier said than done. Love for that, bro. Then he'd be even better. The problem is that needs to be the minimum. You shouldn't, to the point where if Zaha goes and mashes up a team, or Saka does something shameless plug, or the Salah or something, or Son, I'm not shocked, because they do it every week to a degree. Saint-Maximin's a wonderful player, but he's got to do it every week to the point where you're not shocked. So, yeah, man, we'll have to see what's going on in that regards. So, once again, West Ham have been offered the chance to sign Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Hopefully that gets done. Saint-Maximin be lit. Most Arsenal fans are allergic to depth, and they don't stop and think what they're saying. They say, "Oh, we overplayed too many players. We relied on too many players last season. This and that. Saka's overplayed. He needs a rest. We're overplaying Partey, Tomiyasu, Tierney. They're getting injured. Depth is now coming into the team, and we're saying everything is done." Do people stop and think, or just live in hot take land? I leave Martinelli alone, man. Zaha winger can play striker. Goals in double figures. Best option. I think you mean for trophies. St. Maximin has everything, but end product lacks. Same with Adama. But I mean, his numbers are healthier than normal. Adama's just shit. I can't lie. I don't rate Adama and then break dancing skills. To me, St. Maximin can play football. I don't think Adama can. Clearly, you can. You're playing Premier League football, but you're just a power lifter. You're not what I call football. But yeah, shout out to him. Let's keep it real. Who the fluff are we actually going to get? Just have to see from now till deadline day, bro. Imagine being in a defensive line, having to keep your eye on an attacking line, including Zaha. Absolute headache. That will break necks. The overloads, fluid movement would be mad. I hear that. Zaha is going to be a great signing. Zaha expects his team to play good, hence why he complains when people isn't playing. It's a standard. It's a top-tier standard. Bro, Ronaldo does it historically. St. Maximin just needs to improve, St. Maximin just needs to improve his end product, but can be unplayable. Zaha is amazing for us. I think it's agent-led. It's a bit like Gnabry, innit? It's more fan-led rumors and just nonsense. I don't think there's any tangible legs into it. I do think there's an admiration for him. Apparently, Newcastle are set to sign Isaac in a £59 million deal, rising to 63 million people. Apparently, a bid's been accepted and a deal is imminent. Arsenal fans, eat your heart out. You lot wanted that Marga. You might have your thingy, man. Don't think there's any other Arsenal related news. Let's see. Hopefully there's something, man. We need to get linked with a new player, man. Once again, Arsenal have offered West Ham a chance to sign Ainsley Maitland-Niles before the deadline day. West Ham are now keeping tabs on the player, but he's currently not a priority for them. Crazy. It's a top priority for Leicester to sell Yuri Tielemans now because they want money, and it's just whether Arsenal are going to pull the trigger. Arsenal would prefer, to pay 23 to 25 million. Leicester want 30 to 32. That is the sort of gap in valuation. Arsenal in no rush. The longer they leave it now, the more they drive the price down. Allegedly. Arsenal have watched Mudryk, but nothing beyond initial inquiry, says Nick Amains. Let's start bringing this on screen. Where is this report? Well, that's a bit awkward because you can't find the exact citation. Bit awkward, ain't it? DG. Yeah, I can't say that word, man. Infantilization. Yeah, that stuff, man. That's what they do with Kante and Saka. We all know why. To the point where they act like they're children, and it must be jarring. It's a bit of a dry news day, people. But yeah, in relation to Tielemans, Mr. Ben Jacobs allegedly has said he's a hot topic. Arsenal are in no rush. As I just said, they want to pay 23 to 25 million. Leicester want 30 to 32. It's a lot to play for Tielemans in some respects. He's in a position where his contract is winding down. He's the only winner because he could get moves to, other clubs that are in the Champions League or doing other things. You've got stability going into a World Cup, which can't be underrated. You're playing week in, week out. You being a free transfer makes you in a better position to get more personal terms and more in terms of a length of contract. So it is what it is. At the moment, to just pay 32, even if some would say that's still a bargain, would feel like a lot to a club because a club like Arsenal, because they value at 8 to 9 lower. They want to go for Wolves' Pedro Neto first, and if they've got the squad space and desire to go for Tielemans, they know he wants to join the club. If Arsenal don't go for Tielemans, it could be really interesting if they know that if they go for Tielemans, they would get him because he wants Arsenal. Boy. And apparently United, West Ham, among other clubs he's been linked with, have looked at him, but it's what it is. Would you bring back Aubameyang if Arteta squashed the beef? Nope. No, because what's the point? I love Aubameyang. What's the point, man? You're not going to, even if you get half your wages, you're going to take up the wages. You could be in for purely footballing reasons. Aubameyang in and amongst the squad and his ability to score with Eddie Nketiah and specifically Jesus and all the other players blossoming is great, but it don't make sense. We're at where we're at. It probably didn't need to happen, but it is what it is. Who would you prefer in your team, Saka or Nelly? Both, but if it's on the right, Saka. And this is what I mean when he patterned Ravel Morrison. I was speaking about that. Who do you think we can sign to go from top 4 team to EPL contenders? I don't have a clue, man, but it's probably the most unrealistic signings you can make. But more than that, it's a mentality shift and a level of consistency required. I just hope Newcastle don't buy Paqueta, because if they do, long day. Trust. If Gordon is worth 60, then Bakaya is worth 250 million. I mean, it's not even what the players are worth, it's what you can hustle. It's literally what you can hustle. Gordon, Maguire, Pepe, and Dembele, Lukaku. It's not worth it anymore. Like, it's not what the player's worth. And there's many more. Sigurdsson, 50 million from Everton. Crazy money in football nowadays. Obviously, if you can see something in the player no one else can, then fair enough. But football's not what players are worth again, man. It's quite dead. We're almost at 400 likes, people. 386. You Arsenal fans fear United now after the Liverpool result? I don't know about fear. I can only speak for myself, but I keep saying on this channel, don't draw conclusions. It's been 3 games. You know, United, Spurs, West Ham are being poor, but historically, they're Chelsea are trying to do bigger things. But these are the people that are fighting for top 4. Same way we lost our first 3 games and then was the bee's knees and then obviously crumbled. You saw what happened. So I wouldn't say fear. For me with Arsenal, I keep saying the same. Let's improve ourselves, because I feel we are our own worst enemies at times when it comes to the race to get wherever we want to get to. So address that. But I expect everyone to be challenged. All we got to do is just do our job. Will Arsenal sign Pedro Neto? Not a clue. Xhaka's as good as Tielemans. Want too much DOS for Tielemans. Boy. If they get him, they will have a great midfield. What happened to Jeremy? Why are we not signing him? I don't know, man. It seems like Pedro Neto's the flavour of the month. Still don't get the Neto hype. No output, just step over. Zaha is the best player outside the top 6 with upwards output, productivity, youth, and attitude. Arguments is mid. Fair enough. DG, I would be wild to see that these 3 players touted to Arsenal. Tielemans, Zaha, and Neto. I hear that Jeremy is going to Liverpool. If he does, make sure you've got other targets in mind. Then that's great. Like, just make sure you've got other targets that you've got ready to do this thing in his absence. Really, that's all I ask for. Really doesn't seem like there's any other transfer news. Crazy, man. So if at best we might see 2, and then that's it. If we're lucky. Absolute fugazi. So yeah, man. I fully give up on transfer news. Don't think there's anything else. Crazy. Zaha will Gakpo. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But step overs is the most effective skill to beat players, though. What we doing here, I don't know what that is, but for me, I don't think it is. I think it's the Cruyff turn, but I hear that. Neto pre-injury was one of the best young players in the league. Let's not. I'm taking Neto, bro. DG, do you think we should have taken a punt on Renato Sanchez? Potentially, but he seems like not just us. There was appreciate that, Alan. Everyone could have, but there must have been something that some people weren't. It's like, obviously, he's gone PSG. It's a bit like our. You can't go from being the most highly sought after, one of the most highly sought after, better yet, French youth players. Pep waxing lyrical, Arsenal, you see it, Spurs, United, Chelsea, everybody interested. And then man, I linked with Betis and that. Zaha in his game will give us better. Mudryk would be a good signing and cheaper signing. Would you keep the same side against Fulham? Yep, if I'm honest. I might consider bringing in Tierney or Tomiyasu, but I think this whole squad should really stay the same. 7 more likes, people. Pedro, I do really like, just needs to polish on the goal scoring. And that's it. Arsenal are not going to sign, I don't know how many you got. We're not going to sign too many finished articles. We can't. Apparently, we have some big finance constraints, meaning we couldn't get Savic and might not afford Neto. I don't know if I believe that, though, man. To digress slightly, how many of our players make the World Cup squad's first team? I don't know, man. I don't know for first team starting, but I hope Saka and Ramsdale. I've had a bit of money, Saka, Ramsdale in going with their countries. If Switzerland are there, granite. Put me on the spot there. Are Japan in it? Because Tomiyasu's going. Jesus going with Brazil. You hope Martinelli goes with Brazil. I don't think Smith Rowe will make the World Cup squad, but I hope he can get back to the form that got him in England calf, and then by then he might. I hope Ben White can get in the mix, but I don't think he or Ramsdale will play. I think Saka will play more. If Ukraine's there, Zinchenko. Actually, don't even know, man. Might have to. Thoughts on Lisandro performance versus Liverpool? Regret not signing him now. That would be very reactionary. He can do his thing, but I wouldn't say I'm missing him. Really, he's not playing left back. We got Zinchenko centre back. He could be an option. Good step in the right direction, but again, we shouldn't draw conclusions. Really, I would have had a lot of question marks if Arsenal were shelling out 50 odd million on him, because they were talking about playing him left back. He's played 12 times at left back. What's going on there? I mean, he should be over at Saliba. Again, it's difficult to top of my head. Saliba with France, you hope so. I hope Ramsdale starts ahead of Pickford, but Southgate has his favourites, man. Pope should start for England. DG, do you think Arsenal will pull out a surprise signing with a couple of days left, kind of like Tomiyasu signing last season that nobody seemed to? To be fair, we was linked with Tomiyasu before deadline day, if I'm honest. I hope so. I really do. I hope that surprise is centre mid or on the flanks, because we're at that point. We need that to happen, man. We're in trouble. Like, we've done so well in the transfer market. Don't spoil it, sort of thing. Really, it's just down to us to keep going. Don't forget, people, Football Manager heads, we're live at 4:30. Yeah, Zinchenko can play on the wings, and that's an option, but I want to see him play in midfield or at left back, if I'm honest with you. If it's an option, if we have to do it, then so be it. We've done a lot worse. I'm not against it at all. But I want to see him players at a 10, an 8, or a left back. Simple business for me. Arsenal may be able to snag. I think we've seen this report already. Oh, yeah, this is about Tielemans being Zen. What a report. I can't wait till the transfer window's done, though, man. I think the one for me I really wanted to happen was Rafinha. That was the one for me. Didn't happen, did it? On the wing. I mean, if they start to do their thing, man, I just want them in the squad. If Tielemans doesn't come in, it's busted. I mean, it's about time Newcastle finally got someone. If they got him and João Pedro, good signings, but I want to see how Isaac copes with the physical threat in the Premier League. I think he's a good player. I just think Arsenal fans were talking about splashing 70 million on him in January. I don't know about that. And let's hope he can replicate some form, innit? Hope he don't play well against us, but yeah, man. Why doesn't Arsenal sign one crucial centre-back following all leagues we will be involved in? I don't know, man. I don't know. I would like, if it was up to me, centre-back would be up there. Centre mid times 2, potentially 3 if you consider 6. If you could bring in a centre-back to go with cover at left and right back and up front and on the wings, these would have been my priorities to address in an ideal January thing, man. I mean, it seems like we're cool with this FFP stuff. It's just papers getting clicks. It might be something to be wary of the more we're not in Champions League and things, but apparently Arsenal have played down fears literally, and the papers have got to sell stuff in it, really. Really. I don't even buy the credibility in the Zaha thing. I think he's a player that's admired. I think there's obvious reasons to link, but yeah, I think it's a myth in that regards, man. 2 more likes, still 400. You lot have been moving mad, man. I'm very appreciative of such people. Very appreciative of such. Just don't think there's anything else relation to Arsenal people. One last butchers. One last butchers. Happy birthday, Michael Thomas. I mean, the quicker we can see resolutions around Reece Nelson, Pepe, Ainsley, the quicker we see people moved on, really and truly, man. Centre mid is our weakest point. Imagine Arsenal without Partey. It's a possibility. Do I think I'm going to... I'd love to be wrong, but do I think I'm going to see Partey play 38 games? Do I think I'm even going to see 35? Probably not. I hope so. But if that doesn't happen, then naturally things need to happen. We've made our bed. We're going to have to lie in it, really. Can't be a dickhead and play in the Selhurst, which is true. Zaha is the most versatile option, can play anywhere up front, perfect age, prem-proven and cheaper than most options. Neto has the potential to stunt Saka's growth more than Zaha. The senior quality Zaha has will benefit Saka long term. I don't buy this stunting thing, personally. You know, you need players. Play football. The first priority is that. Let's push to 400. Some of you guys are showing your age with these Zaha comments. Soft. I think Mikel Arteta is less rigid than some think. He's open to talk. He wants to know how players tick personally. Exactly. And he knows that they're different. And he would likely handle Zaha differently. Old narrative that Mikel is one-dimensional. That all or nothing was finally constructed to show a lot, but also conceal some things at the same time. I'll happily take Zaha, but his personality might be a handful. Zaha hate is racist media bias, bro. A baller for real. 28 to 32 is peak years for an attacking player. Zaha is a go-getter type of player. Got speed and good feet. Traveling towards the 18-yard box. He's dangerous. Could win a lot of penalties. I mean, Maddison's allowed to sign for Arsenal if he wants, but I don't think we're doing this. Zaha's attitude similar to Aubameyang. Where are we getting them conclusions, bro? Yuri is just being professional and hoping his agents find a quick solution, but perhaps he thought he would have had his club by now, according to Dean Jones. Probably did. Where Arsenal's concerned, I would have thought that we would have had that addressed. Do you see Arsenal doing any panic buying this transfer window? Probably not. But there could be an half a loan before the window shuts. You heard it here first. Free Pepe. And it wouldn't be there you go, love chat, mate. It wouldn't be an Arsenal stream unless you saw any of that bookie stuff. Best thing Mikel Arteta could do is Zaha is let him play his game. You man need to understand there's nothing wrong with competition. Neto ain't stunting growth. Exactly. You know, no one's just sure the game. You know, and it's the only way it's down for Saka, really. You're a number. You've got to the mountain. You're starting week in, week out for Arsenal Football Club. That's the dream of the academy. You're the number 7. The only way is down. You make sure there's no reason to drop you. Play games. Simple as that. Even Pep, it's easier said than done. But Kevin De Bruyne, of late, Bernardo Silva in the last 2 seasons, them man are always playing. Make sure you're given a reason. You can't have it both ways, man. I know when I play Sunday League football or when I join certain teams, I would always opt to join a team where there might be more competition, but I'm joining a better team that's more likely to win the league, more likely to win stuff, stronger base of players. There is more competition. And I had the mentality, I'm not on the bench and I could get my coach Darren here. Bro, sorry to do this to you, Marcel, but you was the last option. It was me and Romario, you know. There was 4 fullbacks. Me and Romario, you and Marcel and Romel were holding bench. We're playing, both of us. 1 minute we're on the left or the right. We was playing, you know. Of course, there was times where you wanted to give other people a game and you're holding bench. Like I remember I had a discipline problem and I sat on the bench and I was on the bench to like the 60th minute. Anyone that knows me, I hate the bench. It feels like I'm not playing. Like I used to be a bit fucked. I'd almost want us to lose. Like I feel like I haven't contributed. I feel like you don't trust me. Like what's going on there? But you relish competition, and that comes with playing in bigger squads. You can't, if you can't want to fight for Champions League and things like that and whatnot. The players are not stupid either. They must have self-awareness. Saka must be like, bloody hell, I'm the only one doing this. Or if this injury happens, then that. Come on now. Anyone that doesn't want competition or wants to be assured of playing, they need to leave the club. Blood. They have to go, and that goes for every team. You have to. If you're not serious about this thing, you have to cut. You have to. I'm sorry, but thanks for the service. You're not what we need. And that's the harsh reality of this situation. I used to play in goal, so I wouldn't have to run around in the cold. Yeah, but then you're standing around in the cold. Partey definitely needs competition. People saying that Zaha has attitude, so Arteta won't handle it. Arteta forced Aubameyang out for infringements on non-negotiables, not for his attitude. Arteta loved Aubameyang. He got him the new contract. Good point. Good point. Saka, great attacking footballer, but not. Oh, yo, chill with the second part. Chill. Competition is important. As for attitude, being confident on your skills is important. Arsenal need a backup right back. Ben White don't have the speed for that. I just deeped. Why is Bellerin still at my club? I wish I had something there. Zaha's attitude is nothing similar to Aubameyang's. Zaha has the same attitude as Grealish, but you know why he didn't get his move. But to be fair, he did get the move to United. He moved too early. Grealish hung around a lot at Villa. I remember when he was linked with Spurs before he really did anything in the Prem. Zaha would add more quality with the experience he has, increasing the chance of winning the league. I don't know about winning leagues, but the other bit, yeah. The days between the next 3 games is slightly shorter. Bro, next week, forgive me if I'm wrong, have we not got 2 games? Forgive me if I'm wrong. We play Fulham on Saturday. Then we go on Wednesday, the 31st of August, 2 days after Carnival. No. Alan is calm, man. But obviously, you know how the net gets. But as I was saying, we play Fulham on Saturday. Midweek, we play Villa. Then I don't even know who's after that, but we probably play on the weekend. I could be chatting shit. The games are coming thick and fast. We got the Europa League draw in 2 days' time on Friday. That's gonna kick in, you know. And obviously, it's kind of cool for now. But when it's mid-season, games are coming thick and fast and stuff like that. You need a squad. Everyone has to fight for their spot. All I'll say is, if I hear another gooner talk about squad depth or complain about lack of quality in the squad, I'll lose my ish. Amen. Amen. So, yeah, United again. So, the games are coming thick and fast. You get it? So, there's 3 games in quick succession them times there. Come on. How many signings will Arsenal make? Not a clue, but I hope minimum 2 in an ideal world. A decent midfielder, a decent winger, and I can accept that. It's been a second good window. Money's been spent. Go and show why the money's spent and go and have a better season than last year, innit? Really and truly. Big up, Paul. Hey, DG, hope you and the nation are blessed. You know how long I've wanted Zaha. Please, Arsenal, go and get him. He'll do bits for us. I see, we just spoke about Isaac, still shout top blue. If we won the Cat Yarrow Cup and FA Cup, but finish 5th, is that a good season? Nah. I mean, you've won trophies. Trophies stay with you for life. I'll be happy about it. You finish 5th. You know, you're in Europe. So, yeah, but nah, it's a bit underwhelming still. You ain't done much in Europa League or the domestic campaign, really. It's a bit meaty still, with the exception of winning trophies. I know it's not something anyone wants to talk about, but Partey's, let's say legal issues are sorted. We don't want him missing halfway through the season. He probably, I don't know, for his legal issues, he needs to deal with that and pattern that up and whatnot. And, you know, thoughts go to the victim. If he has done that, forget football. Partey should never kick a ball for this club again. But what I would say is Arsenal need to be prepared. Once again, Newcastle have agreed a deal to sign Isaac, people. David Ornstein's just tweeted it, people. You know, it's just come out of nowhere. At first, it come out via, in my opinion, via local media on Twitter, local Spanish media, and then it's here. He's agreed a deal. That probably means, you know, personal terms, etc., are going to need to be done because they've agreed fees before. Good signing for Newcastle. Apparently, Everton want Man United's James Garner. Dele Alli's not expected to be in the Fleetwood squad. I don't know if that was today or tomorrow as he nears Besiktas move. Chelsea have seen another bid rejected for Fofana. Ismail Assar is to open contract talks with Watford after a failed move over to Villa. Leeds have rejected a second Newcastle bid for Jack Harrison. Wolves are also in talks to sign Sazar Kalazic. I can't say his name, but the striker from Stuttgart. So yeah, it is what it is. It's a busy day for everybody. So, yeah, Newcastle agreed a deal to sign Isaac from Sociedad. Boy, he'll become their record signing. He's previously been linked with Arsenal. He has 33 goals in 105 La Liga appearances since signing from Sociedad. He has 9 goals in 37 international appearances. DG taking Ghana, not at this moment in time. Good player, but I think we need to be bringing in more than that. Rather in Europa League than get top 4. I hear you, because at the end of the day, if I retired as a footballer, am I going to tell my grandkids about I finished 4th or I won Europa League? But for me, I want both. For me, getting 4th shows me that you're able to go the distance over a 38-game calendar, which I don't think we are at this, which we haven't been. Yo, Norwegian Inter fan here. Really happy to see you lot playing good again, as I've always had a soft spot for Arsenal because of Ozil. Any thought on Odegaard? Odegaard's a baller, bro. Would like him to score and assist a bit more, dictate the tempo of the game a bit more. But Odegaard's a baller. Very happy with him. 63 million is mad for Isaac. I can't suppose you're paying for what the player could be in the future. It's crazy, man. It probably is it. Both players would be a great move. Genuine question, but why does no one want us to sign a proper right back? We play 2 centre backs there. We don't offer a lot going forward. That's a bit harsh on Ben White, but I've said it. I would like an out-and-out right back to go with that going on. So yeah, man, that is something I would like to see happen. Most def, bro, most def, 100%. I'm not against that. 424 likes, people. That is amazing. We set out to hit 200. We've bettered it. Twitch gang, don't forget 4:30. We're playing Football Manager. Twitch gang, I want to say thank you again because shout out Tom Canton of the Gooner Talk. We was here at 9 a.m. We've obviously been here now. Big up the YouTube ones as well. It's been fantastic, but can't lie, it's time for me to get some breakfast better. I haven't eaten today, so let's call it brunch. I'm kind of hungry now, really. You shouldn't ever skip it, but I did, innit? So on that note, though, people, I'm going to love and leave you lot. Obviously, people, 11:30s every day, these sort of things. Make sure you're checking your Twitch schedules. 4:30, we're playing Football Manager. Tomorrow is Thursday. Is tomorrow Thursday or Friday? Tomorrow is Thursday, so content. Trying to get some collabs for you. Friday, you know where it is, innit? So make sure you're following me on all the socials so you don't miss anything. I typically post my streams onto Twitter. Sorry. And make sure you're even following on Instagram, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, on Spotify. Do what you need to do. Everything's in the description of this video. Timestamps will be there in a sec, man. But I wouldn't say bougie brunch, but yeah, man. Tesco's meal deal settings. I'm very hungry quickly. Just remember, DG, you get higher seeding by winning the Europa League rather than finishing 4th in the Prem. So you might get a better group. That's great, man. But I still want to get top 4, man. And the Europa League trophy can bring that true, man. If Jesus gets injured, do we play Martinelli up front? It's an option to consider, bro. You're going to have to consider that. You'd imagine Eddie Nketiah is the next in line to get that opportunity, but it's an avenue and a route Arsenal are going to have to explore. It has to, God forbid, touch wood, it doesn't happen, but it is something. Great show, great opinions from yourself in the comment section. As I said, the transfers and the talks are one thing, but it's speaking about Arsenal and just football in general. So shout out to everybody. Even there's Top Blue G1. If I've said your name, don't feel any sort of way. There's hella fans that got nothing to do with Arsenal, but they're here day in, day out. I'm always here for good conversation, man. We're fans of the game first, club second. So yeah, you lot stay blessed, stay safe. Thank you for supporting. Make sure you're subscribing and all of them things. I'm out though, man. In a bit.
There's always that active red flag defending. I think it's like there's always that active red flag defending. I think it's like there's always that